Kaibigan. Going up against a double team. Jeffrey Moore has opened access to the bucket. What we saw from that normal replay of that last bit of action was Juan Fernandez actually wanting to dish up the against Master Jaworski. We're crossing the twilight zone. That's an eternity of basketball ahead of us.
An eternity of basketball is upon us once again, mga kaibigan. This is December 18. Welcome to our show. But before we get things going, mag-plug na po tayo ng ating mga kasamang shows na dito sa Globally Ballin Network. Along with Hang Time with Denise Tinsay. A belated happy birthday to Jem Ferrer. Siya po yung guest ni Denise Tinsay in the next episode of Hang Time. And of course, we are part of the Globally Ballin Network. Check out all the social media accounts, the websites, and also our shows on YouTube. Moving forward, of course, or if you're on the go, you can take us anywhere on Spotify. Spotify. Globally Ballin, Hang Time, an eternity of basketball, and who the heck are we? And of course, we are also, if you haven't subscribed to us yet, dito sa An Eternity of Basketball, please do so on YouTube and on Spotify at Globally Ballin. Subscribe now if you haven't done that yet. And our most popular episodes of An Eternity of Basketball on YouTube. Top 5 natin, Chris Pa and Toyota po yan, Fabiosa, King Arnaiz, Atoy ko, and Philip Cesar, and all of the other episodes as well. You can see our top 10 right there, ang mga popular episodes natin. We are already in the hundreds on the show. Please follow us on our social media accounts. Linktree/Globally Ballin for easy access to everything that we have on the Globally Ballin Network. And of course, yung aming uniforme na suot namin ni Sid Ventura sa araw na ito ay gawa po ng Cuts Apparel, customized company uniforms. Just follow them on Facebook and on Instagram, Cuts Apparel PH. Episode 111 na po tayo ngayon. Noel Zarate, kasama si Attorney Charlie Cuna, and of course, kami ni Sid Ventura ay sasayaw mamaya, sporting our Cuts Apparel jerseys. So, episode 111 today. We have a very special one. Nakasanayan natin, puro basketball players or basketball coaches. But again, we are turning things around, and of course, one of the most iconic team managers in the history of Philippine basketball, one of the pioneers of the Philippine Amateur Basketball League, transitioned to the PBA, and of course a two-time PBA Executive of the Year, and after his PBA stint continues to create so many opportunities for so many basketball players as one of the basketball visionaries dito sa Pilipinas. Without further ado, ipapasok po natin yun for episode number 111, si Mr. Manuel Buddy Encarnado. Boss Buddy is joining us all the way from the Mall of Asia Arena. Boss Buddy, maraming salamat for joining us. Good morning sa inyo.
Hi. Good morning to everyone and to all your viewers. Magandang umaga po sa kanilang lahat.
Si Boss Buddy ngayon, may laro ang kanyang kuponan dyan sa MPBL. So we're gonna try to keep this as tight as possible. Unang-una, Boss Buddy, kayo po tubong Pasig if I'm not mistaken. Paano kayo na-in love sa basketball?
Well, during my time, there was nothing to do but play. No, I was born 1950, so I'm 71 years old right now. So it was during my time, you cannot even go out of your own barrio, hindi barangay noon eh. So there were no malls, wala bang miski mga tricycle, wala pa noon eh. So you have to make do with what you have. So naglalaro kami ng tinatawag natin mga Filipino games. You know, yung luksong tinig, yung mga taguan, yung tinatawag natin na patintero, tumbang preso, and then of course basketball. So you cannot get out, so you get to know everybody. So as a young man, just like any other Filipino young guy, of course you dream of becoming a basketball player. No, regardless, especially during my time. Ang inabot ko at the time that I remember during my time, siguro mga 3 lang ang may television sa baryo, sa barangay. So makikipanood ka. So ang inabot ko noon, I remember Sonny Reyes, apan ako ng Iko eh. I love Iko. Sonny Reyes, sina Ed Ocampo, sina Roque, si Ballin. So these are the guys that really gave me the love of basketball. Of course, because Big Boy is from Pasig, we cheer for Big Boy. Tubong Pasig yan, together with Jimmy Lucas. Remember Jimmy Lucas? He played for PAL. And then his son later on became also a basketball player who is now an advertising executive, si John from Sambeda, but also from Pasig. So, yan ang mga talagang mga tubong Pasig yan. So, as a young man, dreaming to become a basketball player, because at the time, pag hindi ka naglalaro ng basketball, even your gender will be questioned. Bakit hindi naglalaro ng basketball?
Yeah.
So, you remember the picture that I sent you? I was 16 years old then, intercolor. Magkaroon ka lang ng tawag rito, ng uniforme, it's a big thing already. At saka, alam mo, yung street basketball during our time, singkong yelo, makikipagsuntukan ka na nun eh, because that's part of the character of our basketball. You make a stand in the court. Ang problema namin mga bata, siyempre, yung mga siga, sila kukuha ng mga prime time. Yung mga 7 to 9 o'clock. So by the time we get to the court, alas 12 na ng tanghali, wala na gusto maglaro, tsaka lang kami makakapasok sa... Inabot ko pa yung simento, lupa. Didiligan mo muna ng lagadera ng tubig para mawala yung alikabok. So pagkatapos noon, pag natuyo na, didiligin mo uli ng tubig yan, ng lagadera para hindi maalikabok. Otherwise, ang mukha mo, mapapalo ka ng nanay mo noon. Pag uwi mo, puro di ba? So ito lahat ito naabot ko during the transition of basketball. Ngayon, kagaya ngayon, nasa arena kami, napakalamig dito, kaya naka-jacket ako eh. Very fine, yung ating mga facilities right now is unimaginable considering where I started in basketball. Kaya lang, siyempre, everybody has the right to dream, but basketball is not for everybody.
Correct.
Tama.
I remember the time na sa Pasig, yung tropa ko, magagaling mga ex-PBA din, sina Trabino, sina Joven Francisco, if you remember, naglaro sa Greatest yan, saka sa Pilsin. Yan ang mga tropang Pasig na magagaling na tropa ko rin. So, walang tumalo sa amin sa Pasig. So sabi ng isang kasama ko, boss, pare, meron ditong tinatayong liga. Why don't you attend? So sabi ko, ano yan? PABL. Yung pala kay Boss Danding o Angko. So at the time, I was already the national sales manager of American Standard. I was about 33 at the time. So I attended without knowing na yung pala, it will be a painful decision that will change my life. Pagpasok ko sa kwarto, I saw Dr. Carrascoso, yung Man Friday dati ni Ambassador. I saw Joe Pambia, who was the commissioner then, PNA. Sportsman yan si Joe Pambia. I remember si Ding Panganiban. He was with Masagana 99.
Correct.
Masagana 99. So when we sat down, it was a long table. So I saw everybody who's who in Philippine basketball. So I began to feel agitated. Naku, ako puro big time pala itong pinasok ko rito. So until such time that they were now asking for the seed money, parang franchise fee, so to speak. At the time, 50,000. So sabi ko, naku, hinahanap ko yung pinto. Sabi ko, saan kaya yung exit? Napwesto ko doon sa dulo. Naku, ang layo, makikita lahat. Mapapansin ako. So, I was praying na sana merong humindi para dalawa kami, hindi ako mapapaya. Unfortunately, when Joe Pabia was asking everybody around the table already, nobody backed out. So sabi ko, naku, patay ako nito ako. So napauho ko. Sabi ko, sige, ako ko. Salud-lud ko, okay na, go. So but at that point in time, my mind was already not in the meeting, but looking for my sponsors. Yung kaya pwede kong gawing sponsor. So I remember yung kumpare ko, si Mr. Eddie Ke. Remember ESQ Marketing?
Yes, sir.
ESQ Marketing. People thought that it was ESQ Extra Smooth Quality Tanduay.
Correct.
But it was the acronym of the initial of the couple, Eddie Shirley K. Marketing.
Correct.
They were into trading. So pinuntahan ko yung kumpare ko right after that meeting. So sabi ko sa kumpare ko, pare, may basketball team ka na. So sabi ko sa akin, since when? Today. Right now, may team ka na, may television, ilalagay natin yung pangalan mo. Tsaka walang bayad yung mga players dahil puro mga kumpare ko lang eh. Kako, makainin lang natin ang pansit yan, okay na yan. Basta lalaro tayo. So sabi niya, ganun ba? Kaya lang kako, pare, ano tayo? Mag-share tayo dun sa 50,000 seed money. Franchise, 50. So, tigda 25 kami. So, ito na. Laro na kami. The fulfillment of my boy's dream that I'll probably be able to play somehow. No? That was, I thought, a good idea. Until the reality came into being. Out of 15 games, mind you, out of 15 games, kasi ang dami namin nun eh. Andyan yung Masagana 99, si F. Sharp, Magnolia, Development Bank of Rizal, Rizal AC, Sampaguita Garments, Customs, ni Tiny Literal, Arellano University, who was the champion then.
Yun yung walang champion.
So, nung nakita ko nga si Joey Luisaga, naku, patay ako rito. So anyway, after the elimination, kung kami 16, 15 yung games namin, you know, we won only once. Isa lang, panalo. Sabi ko, alam mo yun kung bakit ako nanalo? Yung kalaban namin default. Default, kaya lang kami nanalo. So nagkaroon kami ng win. But it taught me a lesson that, you know, basketball, you may dream, but you have to be ready. It's not for everybody. So, ginawa ko, kasi I don't want to read the papers at the time because in the sports page, makikita mo, pinagtatawanan yung team namin. I remember Tata Eban, yung bang caretaker ng the jolly old man of Rizal Memorial. Pag kami talo na, maya-maya papasok na yun. Boss, yun yung pintuan sa likod, bukas na. Doon na ho kayo dumaan sa likod. So, because, you know, we were the butt of jokes. Can you imagine, you know, wala, I remember, ito, magandang kwento to. So one time, si Tito Talaw, who is now the editor of Bulletin, kasabayan ko
Bulletin.
yan eh. He was a beat reporter at the time. So, ang kalaban namin noon si the great Pilo Pumarin. He was coaching Southern Textile Mill yan. I remember, sinapalinsyahan yung mga players niya noon. So, nadaan siya sa dugout namin. Nag-high five kami, tuwan-tuwa kami, maingay kami. For the first time, maingay namin. Sabi ni Tito, pumasok, sabi niya, Sir, bakit kayo masasaya? Hindi ba talo kayo? Oo, tama, talo kami. Kaya lang kako, ang lamang sa amin, 18 lang. Kung tambakan kami, isang buwan at kalahati. Kaya nung kami natambakan lang ng 15, 18, taon-taon lang kami. Kaya nagtataka si Tito. That's why Tito and I go together. Yan, kami mga nag-umpisa niyan kami sa PABL at the time. Now, all these years magkasama pa rin kami. Now he holds the pilot seat of Bulletin, so it's nice to see that he has also progressed in his profession. So yan ang akin. So basketball. So after a while, we won 4 consecutive championship. Nung ako talagang dinisbang ko na yung team ko because of shame. I started forming my own players. That's where I got si Mike Bombani. Kung tawagin ko yung Mike Bombani kasi Mike Bombani. Si Mike Bombani, si Halasco, si Freddy Halasco, the president of the AEOB, si Freddy, sina Freddy, yan ang mga una, sina Almasco, and then
Epoy.
Anak ko yan and then I started recruiting mga key, yung mga collegiate. I got Ronnie Magsano when he was 16, together with Altamirano. Both pag-graduate pa lang ng Sambeda, so I got them in. Pero ang mayor kong player na point guard, si Adonis. So ang pamalit niya, si Altamirano at saka si Magsano. And then I got the kid Visayan Cebuano player who became a legend in the PBA, si Dondon Ampalayo. Dondon Ampalayo.
Kaya pala naka-discover sa kanya.
Si Glenn Capasio. He was they were all 16, 17 years old at the time. Si Glenn Capasio. Si Harmon Cobinera, the younger brother of Jerry. So si Jojo Villapando, Jojo Guzman, even Dicky Bachman. I remember Dicky Bachman. He was fourth year high school then.
High school pala yan.
High school, nasa akin yan, nakakapaglaro na kasi he was tall, That kid, he had the height because of his dad, no? So, tapos I remember, ang kalaban namin almost national team, yung Lager Light. Remember the great Lager Light team?
Yeah.
Okay, nandiyan, sina Alan yun. Sina Alan Kaidig, si
Tamboy,
si Valenciano, si shooter, si Almario. Meron pa sila isang shooter Yung Almario. Tapos the great Anthony, remember Anthony Mendoza?
Yes.
Yung from Cebu na 6'4".
Correct.
Nadadak na yun. So, tapos ang backcourt niya si Dindo at saka si Franz, coached by Derek. Nasa likod niya, protege siya ni
Ron Jacobs.
Si Ron Jacobs. So talagang grabe. Twice to beat sila, and you know what? We beat them twice.
Yeah.
Oo.
We beat
Twice
them
to beat
twice.
sila.
I remember, magaling si Ambassador tsaka San Miguel. Nagparapol isang truck na beer. Kaya yung Coliseum, talagang punong-puno to the Raptors. Wala kang mauupuan. Talagang punong-puno yun. And we beat them once. So now comes the final. So wala nang rapol. Pero puno pa rin lalo ang Coliseum. But again, we beat them. So that was the start of the turning of my career as a manager.
Question dun, boss. Question dun. Ba't yung naisipang maging ma-involve sa basketball as a manager after coming from the corporate world? Nasa ano nga kayo, di ba? Nasa corporate world kayo, biglang kinagat kayo nitong bug of basketball. Why did you start to immerse yourself in basketball?
Well, I ang ugali ko kasi I'm no quitter, you know. As a young kid, nakikipagsuntukan ako sa 5 yelo, ayoko lang sumuot eh. Yan ang ugali ko eh. I don't know how I got it, but I am a competitor. Kung hindi ko kayo matalo sa ganyan, babalikan ko kayo. Yun ang ugali ko. I learned my lesson. You may lose the game, but never the lesson. Yan ang sinasabi ko sa mga players ko. It's all right to lose. There are times that you have to lose in order for you to win. Dito, I lost the game, the actual game, but it gave me the lesson that you have to be at your best. You may lose, but find out exactly why did you lose. You know, losing per se is not bad. You know, as far as I'm concerned, for as long as you how you play the game is more important to me. Until now, that's my philosophy. I don't care whether we win or we lose at the end, but I do care how you play the game. Pag umpisa pa lang nakikita ko na nakikipag-dive ka sa bola, you fight for every ball possession. My God, winning is just around the corner. You just have to make sure that they maintain that kind of attitude. But if you're a quitter, pag nasaktan ka ayaw mo na maglaro, you better play chess. Diba?
Yes.
Correct.
But on the other side of the fence, pag ikaw naman masyado kang aggressive, mali din yun. Ang sinasabi ko nga sa mga player ko, in basketball, yung tapang nakikita is how you play the game, how you make the decision on the most important or pressure-laden time of the particular game. If you can make that wise decision, whether to shoot, to pass, to drive, in the last 10 seconds, ang galing mo, hahanapin ka. That's why I love Jerry West. You know, at nung ako bata, napapanood ko yun. Kaya yung number ko lagi as a basketball player, 44. Why? He is the only NBA guy that I remember. Titingin muna yun sa time. Pag nakita niya yung mga last 2 seconds, saka sa, i-release niya yung bola. And most of the time, pasok. So I love his demeanor. He is so calculated. He knew what to do. Kaya that's why he became the legendary Jerry West.
So, the logo.
Yan ang mga natutunan ko sa basketball. If you quit, sabi nga, ano ba yung noong panahon ko, merong sa sweepstake, si Manuel, ang pinaka-moniker niya, ang nagwawagi ay hindi umaayaw at ang umaayaw ay hindi nagwawagi. So I remember but the point is very clear. You don't quit. You absorb. Hindi mo alam ngayon, so be it. That's part of, shall we say, you are paying your tuition fee. But you have to make sure that you absorb and you learn for every mistake that you make so that you become a better somebody later on. Hindi na ikaw yung pushover. And siguro yung attitude kong yun, all these years, that's why I have created so many, or I have made so many great players. Sina Victor Pablo, nung kinuha ko yan, he was 16 years old. I remember si Marlo Aquino was 16 years old when I got him. So si Boyd Fernandez.
Yun.
Yes.
I remember Boyd Fernandez. So,
siyempre.
We had a game sa PBA noon eh. No. Wala pa ako sa PBA. We had an amateur game in Iloilo, Bacolod. And I normally gusto kong manood ng mga local tournaments ba. But I saw this kid playing the game. So I love his tenacity. He's so pesty. Gawa dyan no nonsense na guard. Nakikipagbanggaan. He can shoot from the outside. Although nakita ko, which he never were able to rectify. Puro left-handed yan si
Boyet.
Yeah.
So puro kakaliwete yan eh. So ang problema ngayon, lalo sa basketball ngayon, with the advent of videos, madali kang pag-aralan. So iba yung if you are ambidextrous, left and right, you can dribble. Nakita mo naman ngayon, in between the legs, behind the back, yung lahat ng klase ng dribble nandyan. May step back pa ngayon, di ba? So, that's what I saw in this my life in basketball. The transition, from what it was before and then later on, di ba? Natatandaan niyo yung wave, in the last 2 minutes. Pag ikaw ang players mo hindi masyadong magaling sa sa foul throw. And now I remember si Adonis. Pag yan ang may hawak ng bola, last 2 minutes panalo na kami. Pag miski isa lang ang lamang ko, panalo na kami. Why? Hindi nila maaagawan ng bola si Adonis.
Tama.
So, pag pinaw naman siya, kasi gusto nung kalabang, ipaul si Adonis, sisigaw na ako, lakas ng boses ko. Wait! Why? Kasi bingkaw yung kamay ni Adonis. Hindi siya makakashoot ng foul throw. But you can never take the ball away from Adonis.
Yeah,
So,
Mas
panalo na
Buddy,
kami.
may tanong si Sid sa inyo. Go ahead, Sid.
Hindi, sabihin ko lang pala, Sir Buddy, marami nang nunood na gusto kayong batiin.
Yes.
Yes, some of your former players, Boyet Francisco is watching. And yung dating team manager ng Santa Lucia, si Attorney Ariel Magno is also watching the episode right now. He says hi. And former players, Mon Cruz, Aldo Perez, nanonood din ngayon. No, sa inyo. Ayan, si Attorney Ariel, ano kaya kayo, ka-alumni ko yung sa UPIS, kakalala ko.
Magaling din maglaro yan. Si Atty. Kasama ko yan sa yung POW ko.
Shooter yan.
Oo. Kaya lang, medyo sira na rin ang tuwan ni Atty.
Yeah. Bumagal na rin siya in his later years.
But we still can shoot. Tama ka doon.
Yeah. Ang tanong ko lang, Sir Buddy, yung unang-unang team nyo sa PIBL, like you mentioned, wasn't really a powerhouse. Sabi nyo, isa lang na panalo na nyo. What happened? Sino yung nakuha mong players at parang naubusan ka ba when lineups were being formed that you weren't able to, sa ASQ marketing, you weren't able to form a competitive team?
No. I remember I came in just to participate. Lahat puro tropa ko yun puro mga taga-Pasig yun Kami-kami lang yun.
Sino yun, boss? Sino yung mga player nyo na taga-Pasig?
Si Stravino, ano nga ba ang pangalan ni Stravino? Naglaro yan sa naglaro sa Presto. Si Trevino, si Joven Francisco, yun ang sinasabi.
Yun, naalala ko yun.
Yes.
Puro mga taga-Pasig yan. Even si Tikboy, we call him Tikboy, yung younger brother ni Big Boy Reynoso, who is now an employee of Petron. Yan ang mga players ko. Si Tanyag. Puro magkukumpare lang kami, puro magbabarkada lang kami. So I never participated really to win the championship, but for my group to enjoy basketball without realizing na yung pinasok ko pala creme de la creme ng amateur basketball at the time.
Yes.
So kaya nga
Carlito Trevino ang pangalan.
Carlito. Correct. Kung tawagin sa Pasig yan, si Boy Tanda. Kasi puro puti ang buhok niyan si Boy Tanda, pero magaling siya. He can control the board and intimidating din yan Sina Tanyag, ibang mga players ko dyan. So basically, we participated just to enjoy, the group being able to enjoy high caliber type of tournament. Kaya lang, ang backlash noon, nanalo kami isang beses lang. Dahil default yung kalaban namin. But, as a person, nararamdaman ko, butt of jokes ako ayoko nung pinagtatawanan ako. The last thing that I want is for me to be laughed at because I don't want myself to be associated with mediocrity. You have to polish your craft regardless of what you do. Whether you are a painter, you are a bus conductor, you are a doctor, you are a pilot, be the best of the line of work that you achieve. You have to have that kind of thinking for you to be able to succeed. Ako, out of shame, I tried to polish myself to the point na yung pala, having won 4 consecutive championship sa PABL, ang dami na pala nakatingin sa akin. Now I begin to get the attention of everybody. Miski sina Jumbi, nanonood na sila ng PABL noon. So, later on, nung medyo mataas na yung bentahan ng pay ng mga amateur players sa PABL. So, hindi na namin kaya. So, we tried to sell the franchise already after so many championships. So, naghanap ako ngayon. I'm a marketing guy by profession, so I'm used to making sales presentations. So, I did my sales presentation. At the time, through carousel, wala pa yung mga PowerPoint na yan. Yung carousel, pag pindot mo, umiikot yung parang negative. So I made a presentation to several companies. One of them is Santa Lucia. So sabi nung may-ari, si Mr. Robles, sabi niya, why don't you present to the entire board? So yun pala, sabi niya sa bahay na lang. Yun pala, ang board nila, nanay niya, tatay niya, kapatid niya, mga pinsan niya. It's a close family corporation. So I realized na sila magkakapatid pala. So I did. So, after that, sabi sa akin na, can you come to my office the following day? So, sabi ko, sige sir. So, nagpunta ako. The following afternoon, nung nagpunta ako sa kanya, sabi niya, sige na, approve na. Approve na ng board on one condition. Sabi ko, ano ba yung condition? That you be part of the sale. You will work for me as advertising, kasi at that time, marketing kaya ako, I will handle marketing and advertising and promotion. It was never my intention to handle or to be with them, but ang akin lang noon, I wanted to make sure that I can, yung the life of my team, ang gagaling ng mga players ko noon. So, sabi ko, can you give me a day? I will just talk to my wife. Nagalit sa akin yung misis ko. Sabi sa akin na, baka mamaya, after one tournament lang, wala ka na dyan. Sabi ko, nung araw naman, wala naman ako talaga eh. 280 pesos nga a month lang ang sweldo ko. Sumama ka sa akin. Ngayon pa ako, I have my trade already in marketing. So sabi ko, I'm confident that I can tackle it. So, and that was the last time that he questioned my decision about basketball. And all these years, from 1987 yun, when I joined Santa Lucia, until now, retired na ako sa company, but I still handle their basketball program, even their volleyball program. So that was the wisest decision I made in my life. I did not follow my instinct as a professional, but I followed my heart as a basketball fanatic. Hindi ko maalis yung sarili ko sa basketball. I cannot think of living without basketball in me. Sabi ko nga, yung misis ko galit na galit sa akin. 71 years old ka na. Ayaw mo pang mag-retire.
Naglalaro ka pa nga ng basketball. Nagpipick up game pa ka pa, boss. Napapanood ka namin minsan eh. At
I can still play basketball, mind you. Yan. Alam ni Atty. Atty. Magno. Hindi ko maalis sa sarili ko. That's why I miss the pressure. Kasi yung pressure, depending on how you look at it, can be an opportunity.
Correct.
From nothing to something, from nobody to somebody, yan ang gustong-gusto ko eh. I don't want to be in a successful organization already. I want na yung service mo will be seen clearly like a team. ako, alam mo kami sa Santa Lucia, hindi baling magaling, basta mura. Yan ang policy natin po sa exit. Hindi baling magaling, basta mura. But in effect, ang sinasabi niya sa akin, if you really know your basketball, you can compete with the limited budget. Kami, surely we do not undercut or wala kami under the table. Why? Kasi between me and the boss, alam namin yung aming pinag-usapan that we will work within the budget. Kaya swerte yung mapupuntahan kong liga dahil hindi na kami naka-under the table. That is something that we don't know. But I do know how to spot a player who will become, after giving him some exposure, training, and opportunity to play, who will be a standout. You may say that I may sound too sure about it, but I can see kung sino po pwedeng maging magaling na player. We want to inculcate career orientation. Huwag mo kaming hanapan ng pera kasi wala kaming pera. But I can give you the opportunity for you to become a great somebody. If you want to be the best center, the best point guard, we will give you that opportunity and we will support your dream. But we cannot support you in terms of kasi lalo ngayon puro financial ang labanan. I keep telling everybody, lalo na yung mga bata, wala pa akong nakitang naging successful player na hindi yumaman unless they squander it. But my point is, magpakita ka muna. Once you become successful, financial rewards and other rewards, personal will be tagging along with you. Nandun na sa likod mo yun. But that should not be in front of you na pagpasok mo pa lang, gusto mo, ganito, sweldo mo, ganito. Wala. You are not in a position to impose anything. Magtiyaga ka muna dyan. You want to be somebody? Okay, kita tayo rito, alas 8 ng umaga hanggang alas 12 ng tanghali. I want to see you in practice. Yun ang philosophy namin.
Unfortunately, sir. Unfortunately, iba na minsan ngayon, di ba? Pag upo pa lang nila,
nagde-demand na.
Nagde-demand na.
Well, depende yan kung sino naman yung kausap niya on the other side of the table. Ito, ikukwento ko sa inyo. Ito, merong isang player, kadadrap lang sa PBA. Alam mo naman ang PBA, meron kaming salary cap for yung new players. Ang salary cap niya, maximum is 150.
Rookie salary cap.
1,000 a month. Yun ang maximum for a newcomer. Siyempre, pag nakita kong magaling talaga yung player, lalo first round pick, siyempre 150 ka. 150 ka agad. Yung player na sinabi ko, hindi ko na lang babanggitin yung pangalan at saka yung score. Sabi sa akin, sir, huwag kayong magagalit, Ako bakit? Mas malaki pa ho yung tinatanggap ko sa college team ko kaysa dito sa 150 binibigay nyo. Ganun ba ka ako? Di pa bumalik mo sa eskwelahan mo.
Mag-aral ka ulit.
Di ba? Sabi ko, hindi bumalik ka sa eskwelahan mo. Yung pala ang gusto mo. Akala ko, karir ang gusto mo. Pera pala yung nahanap mo. Kung malaki doon, di bumalik ka. Saan mo ako pipirma? Ayan. Dito ka pumunta.
Yeah. Siyempre, realization lang yan.
It's, parang sales yan, nagbebenta ka, ito naman, bumibili, tumatawad ka, so nagtatawaran kayo. If you give in, if you just readily give in to their demand, ikaw ang talo, pumayag hindi ba? So talo ka sa negotiation. But ang sinasabi ko sa kanya, when you sign in this space ka, at ako'y pumirma din dyan, part of it is for me to mentor you. Ang problema kasi ng mga players ngayon, pagdating sa PBA, sa professional, they will come to you with different educational background. They will come to you with different family backgrounds. Mga broken families, lumaki sa lolo, sa lola. They will have different attitude na nakuha sa kalye or under the wrong coach. Kaya pagdating mo rito sa PBA, ang nangyayari, nagiging reformatory school ako. You now try to undo delete yung kanyang mga negative attitude na pick up before he came to us. So, yan ang problema. Siguro because of what I do, no, all these years, in a way, I become a psychologist. Kasi makikita ko yung reaction ng bata. Before I give my player to my coach, I make sure na mag-uupuan muna kami. Halika muna, mag-usap muna tayo. Ano ba pananaw mo sa buhay? Ilan ba kayo magkakapatid? What is your status in your family? Ano ba aspirations mo? Ano ba? Where do you want to be 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Ano ba ang immediate concern mo? So when he answers you, number one, you will now be able to tell whether he is sincere or not. Kasi makikita mo naman kung mambobole. Lalo na sa tagal ko nga sa basketball. Can you imagine? Half of my life has been already in basketball. So when you sit down with me and ask you to have a chat with me, makikita ko na I now draw a psychological profile of the player. Yung mindset niya, kasi as a manager, how will I be able to motivate him properly? Yun ang isang very important key factor dito eh. As a manager, parang ahente rito. You are now selling your idea of something. So how, everybody wants to be great, basketball player. But the question is how? Yun ang importante rito eh. How? How do you sell the idea that he will be what he wants, provided he will follow you. Kasi tandaan natin, once na may team ka, they have to follow the norm of the team. Iba mayaman, iba mahirap, iba dyan mga sosyal, kinakailangan mag-gel kayo as a team. You try to let them know na for as long as we are together, ito ang ating pamilya. We will have our own identity. Kaya ako, very particular ako dyan. Number one, ayoko na mahaba ang buhok. Number two, walang hikaw. Ano ka ba? Artista ka ba o basketball player? Kung maaalis ko nga lang yung tattoo na yan, tatanggalin ko yung tattoo na yan. Number four, when we go out of town, lalo na magdi-dinner tayo, ayoko na yung nakasando. I don't want anybody, you cannot eat. You go back to your room, come back, you get down properly. Yan ang style ko. Kaya yung mga players ko, kabisado. But later on, I'm so glad, kagaya ni na Boyd Fernandez, sina Chito Victolero, sina Cartel, sina Louie Alas. Lahat puro mga naging players ko yan eh. At every time we meet, boss, yung style mo, ginagawa pa rin namin sa team namin. Yung lahat ng natutunan namin sa'yo, I'm glad. When these so-called coaches now, will tell you na they enjoy now, they realize exactly what I was preaching at that point in time. Merong isang pagkakataon na sa gym namin may dumating, malayo sa kabilang pintusan dumaan. Naka-Amerikana, naka-sunglass pa. Sabi ko dun sa tao, sino yung dumating na yun? Oh, ito, papunta rito. Sabi ko gano'n, papunta sa akin. Kung saan ako pupuntahan. Yung pala, yung dati kong player, si Castello. Anak ni, di ba, magkapatid dyan.
Si Pons o si Orly?
Si Pons. Inaanak ko pareho yun sa kasal. From the States, dumating dito, naka-Amerikana. Can you imagine, naka-Amerikana siya. So, naka-sunglass pa. Pagdating sa akin, hey, boss, how are you doing? Nag-i-English pa. Sabi ko, teka, sino ka ba? Yung si Pons. So, sabi niya, boss, I'm now into this kind of trading. I came back and I wanted to see you. So, sabi ko, fine ka po. So, he was telling me na even in business, yung philosophy ko that I instituted in my team becomes the foundation of what he had. Kasi remember, that's why it's so nice to be in sports, in discipline. The discipline that you inculcate, how you draw your people so many people, divergent ideas and background can now work towards the goal that you have set. That is always the challenge. That is always the challenge. Most especially if you don't have that much resources. Alam mo,
Yeah.
sa PBA, nakakatawa nga, magigiba yung Coliseum. Kasi pag nag-spasyo, bakit nagsisigaw? Di boss, dumating si Big Boss niya na times 7. Ha? Sabi ko, can you imagine, kung elimination pa lang 10,000 isang player. Ang one game, times 7, di 70,000 na. Ako wala akong pera. Kasi may budget ako eh. Ito na, papasok ako, inanalo kami. Makagalit ako. Galit na galit ako. You guys are celebrating when the game is not yet over. Lalapit sa isang bata ko, boss, panalo tayo ha. Huwag ka magulo. Baka mamaya manghingi ng time sa akin niya. Wala
Oo nga. Yun na nga.
So my point is, how do you become competitive with the limitations that you have? You cannot say, hindi kasi wala kami pera eh. Hindi kasi wala kami support eh. From day one, alam mo na you will have this kind of shorthand. Ika nga, it is now up to you, because you accepted the challenge, it is now up to you to make sure that you become competitive. Don't give me excuses. I will not give excuses to my boss. Kasi wala tayong boss nito eh. Huwag mo, hindi ko, insulto yung nasasabihin ko sa kanya na, boss kasi wala tayong support na financial. Kasi alam mo na yun from the start, ibabalik lang sa akin yun. It is now up to me. How do I handle this situation? Iyan ang kagandahan. And luckily, mabuti pa nga, may buhok pa ako eh. All this
Pero sir, pag-usapan natin kasi, di ba, so ESQ nagka-success ng konti yun, obviously nag-won championships. Eventually, nag-transition yan. In fact, there was a time na nag-compete yung team as ESQ, Santa Lucia pa yata. Parang may transition pa yun. Then you became Santa Lucia.
That was the first time.
Yeah, when you talk about Santa Lucia, parang synonymous na yung pangalan mo with Santa Lucia. So the Santa Lucia story started in the PABL. You won a couple of championships later on, 1990, Maharlika Cup, 1990 Philippine Cup, 1992 Maharlika Cup, nanalo Santa Lucia. So you had some good players there, may success ka rin doon. And then you make the transition to the PBA eventually, no? You inherit or you take over the Great Taste franchise. So the story of Santa Lucia begins, no? So we're almost halfway through our show. Kailangan umpisahan na natin. Kasi Santa Lucia, Buddy Encarnado yan. So let's talk about when you entered Santa Lucia, it wasn't successful again, di ba? Parang ESQ lang din yan, di ba? Hindi masyadong successful at the start. Then you have to build it again. So anong kwento naman doon, sir?
Actually,
dagdag ko lang dyan bago pumasok si Boss Buddy, Charlie, he inherited some players also from the Great Taste franchise. Magagaling.
Magagaling talaga yun. No question about it. But ang sinasabi ko nga sa inyo, when you work for somebody, you are given a mandate. Meron kang instruction eh. You are given a mandate. Actually, part of that group was Alan Kaidik, sina Hawkins, sina Meneses. But ang mindset namin noon at that time, we can make our own heroes. We can make our own players. Not to mention na ang lalaki agad ng sweldo nila eh. Remember, we are transitioning from PABL to the PBA. So, ang mindset namin is hindi baling magaling, basta mura. Just to give you an idea. So, between Mr. Robles and I, kasi we are just wetting our feet, so to speak. Yun ang unang namin eh. Yun ang unang try namin sa PBA. We wanted to make sure that we can come out with a competitive team na hindi ganung kalaki budget. Remember that ang professional team parang parang marathon yan eh. Once na ikaw ay nakipagsabayan agad dun sa strength ng kalaban mo, which is more on financial, paano ka tatagal? How can you see na your length or your stay in the PBA will be that long. So we knew that for a start. Kaya alam ko na mabigat para sa akin because I will have to redo it in the professional arena. But I knew the problem, or I knew the problems that I will encounter. Number two, we wanted to create players who will be identified with us na nanggaling sa amin. Yung look at a good example is look at Dennis Espino. Dennis Espino was with Magnolia. Remember?
Tama.
During that time, ang daming kumausap sa akin, boss, alam niyo naman, bata namin yan, baka pwede sa amin na. Sabi ko, we are playing by the rules. Si Marlo Aquino nga sa amin Di ba? If that is the reason, di dapat si Marlo sa amin din. Kaya lang, ang rules of the game is kung sino yung nasa ilalim, they have the right to the first pick. So I stuck with my stand. I stood my ground. Hindi, kukunin ko si Dennis. Dennis, when the first year niya sa akin, hindi ako kinakausap niyan. To give you background, ito magandang background to. Hindi ako kinakausap niya. Ini-snub ako niyan. He was forced to sign with me because that is the contract and that is the rule. But between him and me, hindi nagsasalita yan. I hardly heard his voice. Naglalaro yan, no question. But para kang kumuha ng anting wild horse na sasakyan mo na kinakailangan, you have to tame it. But look at what happened to Dennis. In spite na siya ay nanggaling sa Manit team, he realized the value of what I was saying, the value of yung principle namin behind the basketball team. He never left the Santa Lucia franchise until we sold the franchise to Meralco. To MVP, to Token Tex, na binigay nila sa Meralco. So that is a good example. Ayaw sa akin yung bata na yan. Kasi talagang blue-blooded, Magnolia, San Miguel yan But when he now realized yung sistema namin is good for him, so he stuck with me for more than 15 years until we decided to sell our franchise. And that is a good example of siguro yung sistema ko. Kasi ako, when you come out with a policy, the problem is you have to sustain it. Yung continuity, hindi po pwede na doon lang sa mga bangko na mo i-enforce yan. Ang ugali ko, kung I have a rule, I have to make sure na yung example ko, yung mga manid guy ko, yung mga marquee players ko. If I cannot impose that to Marlo and Dennis, then I have no moral right to impose it to my bench warmer. Boss, kami lang naman ang kaya. Yung mga marquee players natin, mga star natin, hindi mo mapasunod yan. So, gagawin kitang example. Kaya lang, before I do that, maupo muna tayo. Let us just make sure that yung ating vision, yung mission mo, yung vision mo and mine will be aligned. There must be a clear understanding of each one's position so that you can now work together. Kaya unless otherwise you see me as your dad, tatay mo ako sa basketball, I cannot impose anything on you. Ano lang yan, lip service lang yan Tsaka walang mangyayari. Kaya ako, I make sure that yung mga yan, we sit down with one another and, heart-to-heart talk before I hand them over to my coach. Pag yan na ibigay ko na sa coach ko yan, ibig sabihin nun, okay na yan, klaro na ika nga, how do you call this? Unleaded na ang topak sa ulo niyan o nawala na ang topak sa ulo niya. Because the last thing that I want is for me to have problems with my player. But you have to make sure that it's from day one, mag-upuan muna tayo. Ano gusto mo sa buhay mo? Ano gusto mong gawin mo sa buhay mo? Gusto mong maging basketball player? Bakit mo gusto maging basketball player? Anong klaseng basketball player ka ang mangyayari sa buhay mo? So these are things that will have to be done in my position. Yan ang trabaho ng mga mahirap ang yung position ko dahil parang sinasabi ko nga sa inyo, in a way, you become a untrained sociologist or a psychiatrist rather. You try to read the minds. You pick the minds of the players so that you know what kind of motivation you will push yung push button. Alam mo, iba dyan gusto puro pera. Iba dyan gusto pat in the back. Iba dyan gusto mabigyan mo lang ng kalahating ganun ice cream. Ayos na, smart okay, no? Boss, yung ice cream. When he was 16, boss, ice cream. Ano problema?
Hanggang nung nag-pro naman siya, ganun, boss eh. But right now, we are starting to get into the philosophy, to the mind of how Buddy Encarnado became a very successful team manager, not only in the PBA, pati national team. Pag-uusapan din natin yan mamaya, no? Pero we are at the half of our show ngayon. So another show that we have here at the Globally Ballin Network is a podcast by the name of Who the Heck Are We? And episode 78 is Jingham Lang, the AFF Suzuki Cup Review. Social media live po yan. That's on Friday, December 17 at 8 p.m. sa Who the Heck Are We? And of course, we are still part of the Globally Ballin Network. Please follow all the social media accounts, the websites, pati na rin yung mga shows natin ng Globally Ballin on YouTube, including, of course, Hang Time with Denise Dinsay, Who the Heck Are We? Pati na rin itong An Eternity of Basketball. If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube and Spotify accounts, please do so right now. An Eternity of Basketball. Don't miss a single episode. Grabe, episode number 111 na po tayo. Next up, our most popular episodes on Spotify. Wala pa rin pong nagtatapol dito sa episode number 73 natin ng Usapan Smoking Show with special guest Seb Sarmenta, Andy Hauquinito Henson, and of course Commissioner Willie Marcial. Yan pong ating top 5 on Spotify right now. You can check it out. Download us on Spotify. Take us on the go with you wherever you go. And again, subscribe to the Globally Ballin Network on the YouTube channel for all the episodes, not only of our show, but for all the other episodes of the other shows as well here on the Globally Ballin Network. As we, of course, invite everybody to like and follow the Globally Ballin Southeast Asia social media account at Globally Ballin SEA. So once again, we continue with our show here, episode number 111 of An Eternity of Basketball with the very, very entertaining Boss Buddy Encarnado, former PBA chairman. Boss Buddy, bago tayo magpatuloy sa PBA, there was also a time that the National Federation tapped you to be the team manager of the national team. What was that like naman? Kayo na yung team manager, especially home soil natin yun, 1991. Team Redeem, ika nga kasi 1989. Hindi tayo nanalo ng gold medal, 1991 on our home soil. Kayo rin ang team manager. Boss, narinig mo kami? Yan. Boss Buddy.
Those were my...
Yan, okay.
Those were the experiences that I wanted to relive. You know, I won the Asian Interclub. I won the Asian Interclub. The winner will have to go to Argentina for the World Interclub. Gumawa kami ng selection nun sa PABL. Ang selection ko noon, si Alvin Patrimonio, Paul Alvarez, Nelson Aceitono, Jun Reyes, De La Serna, Marata, Cabahug, Agustin, De Mejillo, and Banate. Sa Jakarta yun, Asian Interclub. Ang talagang motivation namin, gusto namin pumunta na sa Argentina. And then, ito na, Liaoning of China. They had 3 national players. They had 3 national players of Liaoning of China. And we beat them. So, ang saya-saya namin. Unfortunately, ready na kami, nagkakastila na kami, hablo Espanyol, lahat na kami. Problema, nagkaroon naman ng economic letdown ng Argentina, kaya hindi natuloy. But the point is, if it, yung Asian Intercity, yung pinakita kong litrato sa iyo noon na 1986, ang player ko naman noon, ang babata pa no, si Jerry Esplana, si Bong Ramos, si Cueto, Jerome Cueto, si Jojo Martin, si Joel Santos of Jensan, si Di Mejillo. We won the Asian Intercity. Dala-dala namin ng Pasig. Kaya nung pinakita ko kay Mayor Dico, ako, Mayor, ilang taon ka na? Sabi niya, 32. O, kako, tinan mo itong litrato ko. This was taken 36 years ago. Mas matanda pa sa iyo to. I was already carrying the name of Pasig. So, sinabi ko at ang ginawa niya, tinawag yung assistant, pinalakihan yung litratong binigay ko. Gusto niya ilagay dun sa opisina. ABC Kobe. Ang dala ko noon, sabi ni Mr. Puyat sa akin, Buddy, wala tayong national team. Yung mga youth team na lang dadali natin. Sige ako, sir, didali natin. So we went to Kobe, ABC. Nag-number 7 tayo. Nag-number 7 tayo. Ang crucial match na hindi ko makakalimutan dyan, yung kalaban natin ng North Korea. Meron silang 7-6. Si Marlo na 6'9", hanggang dibdib lang. Kaya pag dumipensa si Marlo ganyan, bumuelta yung umarap sa basket yung kalaban. Isang tiyan lang, dunk na yung pero nanalo tayo doon 1 point because of the foul throws ni Marlo Aquino. Hindi ko makakalimutan yun. We beat North Korea by 1 point. Ang players ko noon, Marlo Aquino, Luxin, Limpot, si Giovanni Pineda, si Wilmer Ong,
Malalaki rin.
Boyd Fernandez, ang isinama namin overage na pero okay naman no dahil si Barrientos, sina Jay Torres. So we placed 7 in that which is magandang place name for the ABC. I remember na sitting down with the Prince of Japan with Mr. Puyat kasi sabi ni Mr. Puyat, Buddy, dito ka sa tabi ko tayong harap kay Prince. Ako naman, sama kay Mr. Puyat. So, yan ang nami-miss ko. I miss the international competition. Sinayo of China, of Malaysia. Yan lang lagi naming kalaban sa Southeast Asian Games. I remember. Malalakas. Tsaka nagpa-participate kami nung araw sa Jones Cup. Jones Cup. Naalala ko Jones Cup. Yung corno. Kalaban namin sina Sean. He's only about 17 years old. Ibaba 51 ata ang lamang sa amin. Kaya kabahog tuwa dahil binigay sa kanila yung uniforme. I remember that. Nag-explain. Hello.
Boss. Narinig mo kami?
Okay.
Boss, may mga pictures kaming, yung mga binigay mo sa aming pictures, yan, isa-isa na natin. Ito yata yung kinakwento mong 16 years old pa kayo nung naglalaro kayo.
16 years sinasabi ko sa inyo na, as a young kid of the barrio, kinakailangan nasa intercolor ka. Pag hindi ka kasali dyan, hindi ka makapanligaw. Walang papansin sa'yo pag hindi ka naglalaro ng basketball. I was 16 at that time in our barangay in Pasig. Sumilang, barrio pa. So, I was 16 years old at the time. My desire and my wish to become a basketball player was so overpowering at that point in time.
Para sa mga viewers, si Boss Buddy yung second from the right standing.
Oh,
Sa
yeah,
likod
yeah.
ng
Yung
Muse.
katabi ng number 12 sa nung Muse.
I was 16. I was 16 at the time. Ano yan, naalala ko nung araw, maglalaro kami sa umaga, sa gabi may dayo pa.
Dayo.
Takas ang katawan nung araw. Saka wala pang mga tape noon. Pag natapilo ka, ipagpag mo lang yan, okay na yan. Ngayon, may mga Yuko Plus pa. Di ba? Saka doon, wala. Kanya-kanyang ano yan.
Saka wala pa mineral water noon, di ba? Kung wala pa,
Supot-supot
Tap water lang yan. Tap water
Host pa nga,
lang.
host, pwede.
Host, pwede sa host.
Pero sa picture na to, kayo po yung youngest sa team kasi hindi naman mo ka 16 years old.
Yeah. Ano yung high school ako niyan eh. I think I was already in third year or fourth year high school na ako niyan. I wanted to be part, kasi puro mga sinabi ko nga sa inyo, nung araw, pagka uso yung yung mga bully. Pag bully ka, lagi ka nandun sa loob ng court. Nakita mo yung court namin na yan, simento yan, karsada yan, nilagyan lang ng kasi wala naman kaming court talaga nung araw eh. Yung iba nga, lupa. So, dinidilig lang namin.
Ayos, ganda niyan.
Buti
na preserve. Oo.
Let's check out our next picture, Aaron.
Next photo, please.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Ito talaga, pang-blackmail na to, boss.
Ha?
Pang-blackmail
During my early professional life yan, I think I was already with, hindi ko malaman kung sa Little Mills ako noon o with American Standard already.
Pero ever since may bigote na po kayo,
Yung buho ko yung buho ko na-miss ko ngayon. Nung araw,
Pwede pa rin, makapal pa rin. Pero boss, yung bigote, parating na dyan yung bigote,
Oo. Wala tayong magagawa. Talagang nandyan yan eh.
Part of the ano na yun.
So how old were you here, boss? Mga 20s kayo dito niyan?
I think about mga 27, 28 ako niyan.
Wow.
Grabe, no?
At the time.
Parang studio shot eh. Parang chat paypok yata yan. Touch Arellano.
Nung araw.
Arellano.
Kasi hindi nakatingin sa lente yung mga style
natin.
Di
Diba?
Huwag ka tumingin sa lente. Yan.
Galing.
Pero yung next photo, yung pinaka-explosive.
Sige nga. Ano ba yung next photo
Puntahan
natin?
na natin agad kung explosive.
Yan ang pang-blackmail. Grabe. Pagkatapos ng game mo, boss,
Ewan ko, buti nga na-preserve yung yan eh. Sa Green Valley yan. Sa Green Valley. Basketball gym. Kaya nga sinasabi ko sa inyo, I am a hopeless dreamer of becoming a basketball player. At least kahit pa paano, napakita ko sa inyo. Baka sabihin nyo na kung wala ako litrato, baka sabihin nyo, wishful thinking. Pero I really wanted to become a basketball player at that point in time.
Parang Sino ba ganyan? Leo Isaac? Parang gano'n, Leo Isaac.
Parang, gano'n yun eh.
Yung may bigote, tapos may katawan, Nice picture yan, boss. Pang-blackmail na namin. Kasama na
1980s yan sigurado, no? Pero fighting, fighting form di ba? Tinan mo.
Hindi, yung alam kong kwento nga dito, Boss Buddy, correct me if I'm wrong, si Mr. Encarnado at si Mr. Robles, nagkakilala dyan sa Green Valley sa basketball kasi may schedule yan. Magkasunod sila ng schedule. Tapos one day, nag-overtime yung practice ng Crispa, nag-merge tuloy sila ng schedule. Kaya sila nagkakilala ni Mr. Robles. It was also a chance meeting through basketball. Tama ba yun, Boss Buddy?
Yeah. Kasi at that time, nauna sa amin ng Crispa Ang Crispa muna, tapos kami, tapos uli si Mr. Robles. Ang problema, kumisan nag-i-extend ang mga teams lalo na Crispa at that time. Siyempre, sila, professional sila at that time. So, kinakain nila yung oras namin. And since kami susunod, wala nang time yung pangatlo. So, most of the time, nag-uusap sila na nakikiusap na kung pwede maglaro na lang kami. So, maglaro na lang kami. That's where I got to get to know him first.
So, malamang ganito forma nyo,
Kaya at the time, nakakadalawang laro ko sa isang araw. Malakas pa ako noon. Okay yun. Pwede pa yun.
Ito lang nga, 2 months ago. 2 months ago, dinalaw kita sa Santa Lucia Gym. Naka 2 games ka na rin nun, ha?
Oo, hanggang ngayon.
Hanggang ngayon.
Sira na tuhod ko. But I cannot take away basketball out of my system. Yan ang problema.
Yeah. Para ano na yan eh.
Tapos kalaro niya lang naman, guys, Ogie Kumatay at saka Jai Reyes. Yun lang naman ang kapantayan niya, no? Buddy Encarnado doon sa pick-up game na yun. What's our next photo, Aaron?
Masyadong na-expose na yung photo na yan. Dito, ESU Pasig Giants. Jakarta, Indonesia.
Ito po, saan naman ito rito?
Yan ang sinasabi ko. Look at Jerry's plana at that, in the picture.
Yan sa baba.
Yan, si Bong Ramos, si Jerry's plana, si Roy Ruby ng Davao yan.
Sino yung number 10 na big man katabi nyo sa may kaliwa nyo, Sir Buddy? Number 10.
Jack Tanuan yan, di ba?
Jack Tanuan?
Parang Jack Tanuan.
Hindi, si ano yan? Si Demihilio.
Si Nani ba yan?
Demihilio ba yan?
Si Nani Demihilio.
Ay, hindi ba si Nani yung sa may
nasa kaliwa.
Okay.
Oo.
Hirap
Ang sayang dyan, namatay, yung katabi ni Jojo Martin, si Seo Agsunod. Kinukuha na sa akin ng presto nung araw yan. Ang problema, he met car accident. Napakagaling ng bata na yan. Ano yan power forward na ang limitation niya, sobra. Sabay kayong tatalon, nasa baba ka na, siya nandun pa rin sa taas, kaliwete pa. Sayang yung bata na si Seo Agsunod. He could have been one of the stars of the PBA. Si Jojo Martin made the name in the PBA. So, yan yung players ko nung araw na I remember. Tapos dito naman, tabi ko, si De La Serna. Tony De La Serna. So, yan yung pakita kong litrato kay Mayor. Mayor, ilang taong ka na? 32. Kako, itong picture na ito, 36 years na ito.
Grabe, no?
Galing,
Tapos may pa talaga yung shorts.
Siyempre. Ibang time yun eh. Ibang time talaga yun.
Sige, let's take a look at the next photo, Aaron. Yeah. Ito na. Two-time champion sa PBA, 2001 at saka I think the next
PBL
one.
ito.
Pero
PBL ito, PBL.
PBL pa to. Akala ko
PBL
PBA na.
Philippine Cup. Si Coach Francis Rodriguez yung binibigyan ng victory ride.
1990 yan. 1990. Coach Francis.
Eventually, naging coach ng national team.
Si Nagarido, Alan De Los Reyes, si Bade, Chris Bade. I remember those bats. Ano nga pangalan ng isang player rito na nag-aaroon din sa kanila. Si Tevez. Toying Tevez.
Toying Tevez.
Ang galing na defensive player nun. Ang gusto ko yung bata yan. Majority, si Kilban is part of this group.
Eugene.
Yes,
Eugene.
Naka-Neil Sarap, number 11, no?
Si Eugene, I remember. Sino pa ba mga...
Art de la Cruz ba yung number 13?
Si Kuya Art. Si Art de la Cruz. Nandyan din yan. Puro Baste. The Baste group ko yun. During that time. Si Garrido, the high-flying Garrido. Kasama nila si Macaraya ko at saka si De La Serna. Yan ang mga...
Yun yung mga shooter mo.
Yung Egay Macaraya, grabe yung galing na shooter yun.
Si Macaraya made the record sa number of 3-point shots. Tinalo na si Alan nun sa IPAPL nun. Ang record ata nun is 17 or 18. Basta he overtook that.
Yeah. Anong bonus dito? May mga bonus ba rito, Boss Buddy?
Meron din, meron.
Paano?
Pero at that time, magbigay ka ng 3,000, 4,000, masaya na mga players nun eh. Ang kagandahan lang doon sa team namin, pag ikaw ang nag-champion, pag may international invitation from the association, ipapasa agad sa iyo ni Mr. Puyat at ni Mr. Martinino, Moy Martinino. Kaya we enjoy the luxury of travel. Yun lang yung isang reward namin na hindi ko makakalimutan. Kasi libre lahat yun eh. Libre yung pamasahe, yung airplane, libre yung hotel, pagkain. So, pocket money na lang ang binibigay. Nag-solicit na lang ako ng pocket money sa mga bata. But we enjoy yung panahon ng araw. Hindi pa masyadong commercialize eh. Nagtataka nga ako, nakatagal ako. Looking back, no? How I was able to make myself above water or my nose above water. Considering na perennial problem mo is yung pera. Ang mahirap doon sa mga malalaking kumpanya kung minsan, they cut corners kasi they have the luxury of money. But ang point ko lang, yung traditional way na natutunan ko na let's start from scratch. Wala tayong pera. Let us compete on the basis of how good your coach are against mine, how good your manager is against mine, how good your motivational system against mine, and the likes. Hindi puro pera. While money is very important, it's not everything. Kaya siguro yung Santa Lucia name, ang nakita ko lang contribution namin, lalo na ako. Yung contribution ko is you can be competitive and you can stay that long provided you manage judiciously your resources. Wala akong masyadong bala kaya hindi ako pwedeng baril ng baril. Pag bumaril ako ng bumaril, mauubusan ako. So find a way, no? How you reinvent yourself, how you adapt to your situation. I think that is the most crucial way of a job of a manager, considering that money, we don't have the luxury of money.
Galing. May nag-comment nga dito sa among our fans, within the budget, team manager who was very, very patient with his team. Yan ang epitome talaga ng isang Buddy Encarnado. As we check the next photo here, Aaron. Ito, auto shoes.
Auto, yeah. Paano naman ito? Ibang company to, sir. How did you end up with auto shoes?
Ano yan? Papunta na kami ng PBA. But I was thinking about the team. Champion team to eh. So I thought of, getting somebody to adopt the team already kasi champion team nga ito eh. So even then, nung binigay ko na sa auto, champion pa rin kami niya. Ito, si Ricky Quito, Marlo Aquino, si Garrido, nandito pa rin. Sino pa ba itong si Adonis nandito. So, nakalimutan ko na ibang. Si Borromeo. Si Borromeo. Ba ito?
Sino yung nasa pinakalikod, sir? Na parang import. Dalawa pa nga yata sila eh.
Parang import. Mga import.
Sa likod ni Marlu. Sa likod ni Marlu.
Meron naman during that time eh.
Yeah, PBL. Pero would you remember yung mga imports?
Banyares yung isa dyan, di ba? Banyares.
Si Banyares. Ito si Banyares.
UE.
Inaanak ko rin yan. Most of them end up being may inaanak sa kasal eh. So,
Hindi ko na rin maalala kung sino. Parang import na yan.
Memories
gusto ko dito yung bigote ni Coach Adonis. Yan ang gusto ko dyan.
Si Tata Fernandez ba yung nasa likod nyo, boss?
Sino dyan?
Henry Fernandez ba yan? Yung nasa likod nyo?
Tinitingnan ko nga kung sino eh. Si Garrido yan, si Garrido.
Okay.
Alan Garrido. Ito, si Alan Garrido yan.
Kala ko si Fernandez eh.
Hindi, si Alan Garrido yan. The high-flying Garrido.
Tapos yung isang naka-coach dito, si Jojo Villapando na yan, ano?
Si Jojo Villapando. Si Coach Jojo.
Teka, ang haba ng message ng Dennis Principe, baka pwede natin basahin ulit yun. Ang ganda sinabi, when we bring that up, sabi ni Dennis Principe, boss, I remember first championship nila on his way sa press table, sinabihan niya ako, you believed. Tapos shout out naman kay Boss Buddy, the most credible Philippine basketball executive, bar none. His legacy sa PBA, when everyone smitten with Phil-Amps, he fervently pushed for homegrowns by forming his team with homegrown talents. Pag-uusapan natin yun mamaya, pero maganda tribute niya galing sa ating kasama na si Dennis Principe, boss.
Yes. Sports writer still with the Manila Bulletin up to now. No?
Oo.
Parang Dennis.
Tingnan natin yung next photo dito.
Let's go to the next one, Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the
Santa
first
Lucia.
Santa Lucia PBA
talaga. Sino yung import dyan? Si?
Lambert Shell?
Lambert Shell.
Lambert Shell. Magaling yan. He's good.
How
Lambert
do
Shell
you,
ito,
Coach,
si Tanungan,
Sir Buddy,
Emilio.
Sir Buddy,
Ah,
how do you make decisions like that? Kunyari, a guy like
The enforce.
Bong Alvarez, napakagaling na player. Pero after a while, you trade him away. Yung Jun Limpot, he's a really good player. After a while, you trade him away. How do you make those decisions? Anong thought process sa mga ganyang klaseng decision?
And I mean, in the long run, pagka ang problema mo, attitude, it will be a short stint with my team. I go for character. Kaya, in my experience, pag ang player mo too wild, to conform to the norm, yung sinasabi kong norm of the team, I let them go. Why? Magiging ana yan eh. It will infect the other, parang virus yan, it will infect everybody. Either you're with us or you're out of the team. Very important is the credibility, the discipline of the team. Pagka wala kang discipline, you will not go very, very far.
Okay.
Yan ang nakita ko sa what you call this sa basketball. You need to become a disciplined player. You have to abide and you have to believe in the system of your franchise. Otherwise, you better make your own team because you will never be part of my team.
Sir, was it an easy decision for the company to make the leap to the PBA when Presto was offering its franchise, o matagal nyo rin pinag-isipan?
Timing. When Mr. Goto asked me to see him, so akala ko may mga player lang siyang kukunin sa akin. Yung pala sabi niya, ikaw buddy, bigay ko na sa iyo to, aking team. Sabi ko, anong bigay niyo sa akin?
Ganyan siya
Ikaw,
magsalita.
bili na. Bilhin mo na to. Sabi sa akin, wala ako kay babayad dyan. Hindi, mura lang. Tinanong ko kung magkano. And you know, guess what? How much I got the franchise? 1.5 million.
PBA, 1.5 million.
1.5 million. Actually, 2.1 kasi yung 600,000 cash advance ng mga players na madideduct naman namin.
Parang
So,
auto lang.
Parang PBL franchise lang yun.
Oo.
Bili ka lang ng
medyo
luxury car.
Mahal na rin yun. So si C5 doon ako nagpunta sa office niya rin. So I got it on kasi matagal ko ng kaibigan si Mr. Gotao. Pag kukuha siya ng mga magda-drafting na, ako tatawagan niya. Ano sabi mo player nito? Di sabihin ko sa kanya, okay yan. O yan, medyo huwag niyo kunin niya. Medyo problema yan. So, ayan yun. So, I got the franchise for 1.5. And it's a good thing. Timing, yung Santa Lucia was going nationwide.
Okay.
So, sabi ko, if you're going nationwide as a marketing guy, kako that is the best move that you can ever do. Why? Because yung gunshot approach to advertising, everybody will know you already. Actually nga, nung kami nagbilian lang automatic yung exposure ng Santa Lucia at saka ako it was so huge na akala ng tao eventually na ako may-ari ng Santa Lucia. Naku, ako hindi.
Totoo yun. Pumasok akong PBA.
Actually.
Akala ko talaga kayo may-ari.
Oo, akala ako may-ari. Naku, ako hindi ako may-ari. Ako yung chief
Hindi,
janitor
ikaw kasi
ng
yung
Santa
face.
Lucia.
Ikaw yung nakikita ng mga
Yes,
tao.
yes.
Sir.
And that's the reason why I love basketball, because I will not be where I am right now if not for the opportunities that basketball gave me, even as a manager, not even as a player. I was hoping to become one of them, but destiny had other plans for me. So I sat and I orchestrated the team, but not being a player. But on the side, nararo rin tayo. Makashoot tayo ng isa, dalawa dyan, makaliap ka ng kaliwang kamay, di okay na, masaya ka na. So, ganun lang. Mababaw naman ang kaligayahan natin sa basketball. Makatakbo lang ako ng kasabay sila, okay na.
Yeah.
Itong team na nakikita natin dito, medyo competitive din to. Sa taas, Demihilio, Tanuan, Shell. Sino to katabi ni Jun Limpot?
Si Jun Limpo. Si Banyares. That's
Si
Banyares.
Wilmer Banyares pa
Wilmer
yan.
Banyares.
Oo. Tapos
Si
sa baba,
Wilmer,
sino yung
inaano ko rin yan.
nakabenda? Sino yung nakabenda
Ano?
na yan?
Jerry Plana.
Jerry
Nakakas.
Si Jerry.
Nakakas.
Jerry
Jerry
Plana yan.
Plana. Katabi niya si Ricky Cui.
Ricky Cui.
Oo.
Tapos,
Si Ricky nasa stage na rin yan. Ito si Tevez,
Tama.
itong sa harap ni Ricky Cui.
Oh,
Yan ang
Tevez
Toying
sa harap.
Tevez.
Toying Tevez.
And that is
Macaraya.
Macaraya. The left of
Alvarez.
Toying is Macaraya. Si Paul, si Marata.
Rick Marata.
And then,
Mad Max.
Ito.
Max Delantes.
Si Mad Max. Oo. Kinuha ko
Sino
lang
sa
sa
taas
Cebu
yan?
yan.
Si Andy ba yan? Andy de Guzman. Andy.
Si Daddy Goose.
Andy, okay.
Daddy Goose.
Andy Goose.
Tabi ni Adonis.
And then si Adonis yung katabi niya na assistant
Beside
coach.
Coach Canson. Ito, may
Yes.
nanonood. Bumabati sa'yo si Nick Velasco. Greetings to Boss Buddy and the guys. Thanks for everything.
Dami talagang players na nagbibigay ng tribute
Thanks
sa
for
inyo,
watching,
boss,
Nick.
including Nick Velasco, no?
Third conference team na ito, no? Kasi wala na si Verhel. Si Bong Hawkins.
Saka si
This
Bong
was
Hawkins.
Isa
after
sa
the-
pinakamagaling
the
kong coach yan, si Coach Nat Canzon. Magaling yan.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the best, if not the best. Yung mga mahusay yan. Even the way he disciplines his players, mahusay na coach yan.
Hey, listen, guys, let's talk about the Santa Lucia already. Your questions, you're about the homegrown philosophy.
Oo
and
nga,
everything
yung
like that.
homegrown boss, na-interview ko na kasi si Boss Buddy before one-on-one for a different show, ano. Pero yung homegrown philosophy na yun, nung everybody was being enamored, tama yung punto dito ni Dennis Principe, lahat ng tao na in love sa mga Phil-Ams, pero yung Santa Lucia, they stayed with homegrown lang, kukunin lang natin dito. Of course, that all changed in 2008 nung kinuha niyo si Kelly Williams. Pero before that, it was always draft natin homegrown. Number 1 pick overall, Paulo Mendoza. Yung mga ganun, parating homegrown, even if players...
Although, nag-Rob Parker sila.
Yun na nga.
Direct hire yun eh.
Kaya nga siguro
baka-
gusto mag-homegrown dahil sa kanya.
Yan, tatanong ko rin sana.
Ano bang kwento doon, boss, tungkol doon sa Rob Parker nung pumasok sa inyo yon?
No, at that point in time, di ba ang homegrown dapat yun eh. I mean, Phil-Am. So at that time, si Sam Unera. Kasi bago kami nun doon, so kumukuha sila ng mga players. So I sought the service of Sam Unera because he was the one who gave the other teams, the import. So, siyempre, when the documents come to you, hindi mo naman alam yan. You rely on your agent. Actually nga, we were hoodwinked, so to speak, dahil nagbayad kami, yung pala hindi maayos. So, kaya yung kay Parker, ako mismo pauwi doon because, I went to the US, sought and verified the papers na nakita ko pineki pala. So, ang ginawa ko noon, automatic, I sent him home. I never to come back here again. Yun naman kay Kelly Williams, getting one Phil-Am, that will be less of your problem, but the problem of the others. Do not necessarily dilute yung concept ko ng homegrown. Kasi isa lang naman yun eh. Ang concept ko sa homegrown kasi is being a long-time manager. Ang problema natin, others may not agree with me, but I will just say the same thing all over again. Ang problema natin, the PBA, kukunti ang team. They have only how many teams right now? It's a good thing, 12. Dati, ilan yan? Di ba?
6 nga lang dati.
Hindi, 6 yan. Tapos napunta yung NCC, di ba? Kaya nagkaroon ng guest team. Ang problema natin ngayon, because of the innate desire of Filipinos to become basketball players, hindi enough. The PBA cannot accommodate everybody. Hindi lahat makakapunta sa PBA. Ang problema natin, it becomes worse because yung Phil-Am. Ang mangyayari, that's why as president of the PBA, there were two moves that I did, yung mga resolutions na napababa ko, nagawa ko. Number 1, ibaba natin ang salary cap. Kasi at that time, 500,000 eh. So I was telling the board, if we will continue to be like this, may under the table ka pa, mamamatay tayo. You know, legit, I mean, the small teams will not be able to cope up with you. So yun ang sinasabi ko sa kanila. So after 2 years of battling the board, napababa ko from 350 to, from 500 to 350. So it was a victory for me na para maka-cope up yung mga, you know, the strength of any organization is your weakest link. Kung madami na kayong pera, but your strength is only to the member who is the poorest. Kaya sinasabi ko sa kanila, baba natin. Because without these teams, no, how can the league become credible? You need small teams like us to legitimize the league championship. Otherwise, ang mangyayari niyan, dual na lang yan, dual meet between franchise A who has 4 teams and franchise B who has 3 teams. So, may manonood ba no? O di mong manonood siguro niyan yung mga empleyado nyo lang. Diba? So,
pero tanong ko dyan, paano nyo na-afford yung kay Kenneth Duremdes? Di ba na-trade sa inyo si Kenneth Duremdes na 500,000 tapos 7 years yung kay Kenneth Duremdes?
Tapos may, and they also had Aquino and Espino.
Yes.
And how do you balance all of that? How do you make it fit into the budget, Sir Buddy?
Di ba nag-trade din ako? Eventually, I traded. You have to ensure na bago pa pumasok yung next year, makikita mo na, titingnan mo na kung sino yung mga longest serving players mo, lalo na yung mga marquee players mo. Kasi doon mo i-anchor yan, yun ang poproteksyonan mo. And then after that, tsaka ka ngayon kukuha ng shall we say, additional pieces who will go along with your marquee players. Kaya eventually, I traded Cabagnot. I remember Cabagnot. Cabagnot, si Kenneth Duremdes, si Kalimag, Katli, at saka si Isip. So, ang kinuha ko lang si Miranda, Denok Miranda, at sinabit ko na si Yo. Kasi 1 taon hindi nila ginamit si Yo. Sabi ko, hindi nyo naman ginagamit si Yo. Akin na yan, para 5 inyo, 2 sa akin, and then I sought sa trade sa draft si Ryan Reyes. Remember, 1 year ahead sa nakuha ko na si Kelly Williams. With that in mind, buo na yung sa tingin namin na okay na kami. Dinala ko ngayon sa Boston. We went to Boston and nag-training kami. Tinrain ko yung team ko for 3 times a day. Pagbalik ko, champion kami. All Filipino. Best of 7.
That was your second championship nyo na yan, boss.
Yes,
Let's go back to the photos.
All Filipino yan. We're talking about all Filipino.
Which is very, very difficult. So after this photo, let's check out the next one. This was the championship that pinag-uusapan natin.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm so proud of that. Dahil talagang a combination of trading and then combination of trading, drafting, at saka yung training abroad. So yun ang combination yan. Kaya yun ang magic formula, and luckily we won the championship. More than almost 19,000 crowd yan yung nag-champion kami dyan. I cherish the championship. As a matter of fact, yun nga sabi ko, yun ang pamamana ko sa apo ko, yung aking championship ring na yan, yung All Filipino. Napaka-memorable sa akin yung championship.
Pero before this, boss, 2001, nag-champion din ng Santa Lucia under Coach Norman Black. At medyo memorable din yun because it's always the first championship yung memorable. After all of those years na pinagtsagaan nyo, tweaking your lineup, and then finally 2001, nakakalimutan ko lang sino import yung time na yun pero magaling din yung import.
Si Owens.
Damien. Si
Damien Owens.
Parating si pumapasok sa isipan pero yun.
Yung Kaliwete.
Oo.
Yung kontra-tempo,
Tama.
akala mo mabagal pero he has that sudden quickness and he has that
Oo.
quick hands. So he can
Tama.
get the ball out of you. He can pick the ball
magaling
off
yun. Magaling yun.
the players. Ang galing
Sid,
ng
may question ka, di ba?
You have a
Yeah,
question
Sid.
about that's the
Yeah.
late Tony Chua, by the way.
Yes.
Pero we'll go to
No,
that later.
this
Sid
is-
has a question about the 2001 championship.
Yeah, the 2000. This is 2007 na, no? Itong ano.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yung
well,
I
OAP,
couldn't-
yung tanong
I
ko.
couldn't find the photo of the 2001 championship, your very first championship. But Sir Buddy, you won that in dramatic fashion, no? Yung last second 3-point shot ni Kristan.
Kristan.
Yes.
Oo. Could
Yes.
you bring us back to those, the dying moments of that game, and what
Anong
happened after Kristan buried the 3-point shot?
Alam mo, you will notice I never sit beside the coach ever since.
Tama yan. Tama yan.
I sit
Yes.
farthest to the opposite end. Why? Because I keep telling my coaches then and now, we will win or lose with you coaching. Why? Because I respect you. If I don't respect you, ako na magko-coach. Wala akong tiwala pala sa iyo. So I want them to feel that they have the say who goes in, who goes out. But ang akin naman, days before the game, we sit down. Ano plano mo? Ano ba ang game plan mo rito? How do you attack? How do you solve the problem of the pressing defense, the triangle offense ng kalaban? So these are the things na hindi ko naman pakakawalan. Sa halftime, pwede ko magsalita. But never during the game. Never ako nakialam sa coach ko. Never ang coach ko magsasabi na, salita ka ng salita dyan, kaya hindi tayo manalo. Pakialam ka ng pakialam. I don't want that. If I get you, then ibig sabihin nun, I respect you. You put. Kaya lang, after the day, at the end of the day, I will have the final decision. What did you do with the confidence, with all the confidence that I have given you, the authority, whether you squandered it or you made something out of it. So, doon naman papasok yung aking managerial control. Either I extend your contract or there is the exit door. Ganun lang ako. But never during the game. Even the coming in of Kristan, I made that very, very, very clear to everybody sa buong team. Kasi yan son-in-law ni
Coach
stepson ni what do you call this, ni Coach
Norman.
Norman. I made it very, very clear that Chris, I agreed to get Kristan only because I was sure that he will be an asset to the team, not because he is the stepson. Kasi kailangan niya tanggalin mo agad yung suspicion. Otherwise, magkakaroon na, hindi kasi kaya naman pinapasok yan dahil anak lang ni Coach yan. Hindi. So, it is my duty to ensure that it was my responsibility. Once I agree, it now becomes my sole responsibility to be responsible to the actuations of everyone. So, true enough, that fateful three-point shot ni Chris made the difference. For a poor team, dinala ko yung team ko sa Europe niya. Nag-ano kami niyan eh. Nag-Europe kami niyan eh. Why? Sasabihin mo, akala ko ba wala kayong pera? Ang sinasabi ko, yung sinasabi ko kanina, judicious spending. Nagtitipid ako. Yung mga earnings ko sa PBA, sinusubi ko yan eh. Sinusubi ko yan. Why? For the hoping that the good times will come in, I will be in a position to give everybody a good bonus. And what a good bonus that I gave. Na dinala ko sa Europe yung mga bata. We went to France. Punta kami Paris. Kagandahan naglalakad kami. Makikita mo yung mga Pilipino. Marlo,
Kilala pa rin.
Kilala pa rin. It gives you that joy na mayroon palang following ng Actually, that kind of following, hanggang ngayon, nagkaroon kami ng sales office sa Europe. one of the key sales offices namin, catering to the OFWs is Paris. Paris, we have in London, we have in Barcelona, we have in Milan. So ang sinasabi ko, again, this is the reason why we are in basketball. You make your presence felt through the passion of the Filipinos, which is basketball. You will never be you can never be forgotten. Matagal na. I remember one time nag-cruise kami nung misis ko from Barcelona to yung Mediterranean cruise. Pagpasok ko pa lang doon sa barko, sabi nung it's so happen, parang chief security doon, Pinoy. Pero mukhang Amerikano siya dahil mukhang tisoy. Nagulat ako, Boss Buddy, kasama mo ba yung mga team? Ay, hindi ka ako. Ibang team tong kasama ko, family ko. Sabi ko gano'n. But you will realize na, the effect of basketball, because you are now touching the very key that motivates everybody, the Filipinos, which is basketball. Alam natin tayo yung maliliit. Alam natin na tayo hindi mananalo sa international competition. But somehow, the passion of the Filipinos for basketball has never wavered. No? Pero basta tandaan to, until now, nakikita ko. So, yan ang epekto ng basketball sa atin. So, you cannot detach the passion of the Filipinos when it comes to basketball.
Oh, definitely. Correct. Definitely. Amen. What's the next photo? How many photos do we have, Bob? A couple na lang.
I think we have two more left. This was, of course, Boss Buddy. Ano ba to, Boss? Ito yung second...
Press Score Award.
Ayan, that is my second executive of the year.
Yeah.
Second executive of the year.
Tama niya si Red Bull.
Kasama yung yumaong si Mr. Tony.
Si Tony. At the time, he was the chairman of the board. Itong mga award ko, I never thought of that. Ang sa akin lang, gusto ko lang, polish my craft. Without knowing later on, people will acknowledge me for what I have done. But wala sa ulo ko yun. I just wanted to ensure that, I enjoy what I'm doing, which is, creating heroes out of people who never realize that they will become a PBA legend or a star in the making of Philippine basketball. And I'm proud to have had a small hand in creating their careers. Kaya hanggang ngayon very close sa akin yung mga bata niya. Kaya nga ngayon, when I see their sons playing for me now, kaya ni Jerry Ting, ang tatay niya ang player ko, ibinahay ko yan sa Pasig. Kaya ako, for the record, ako nagbabahay ng lalaki, hindi ng babae. For the record. Pero mga players, puro mga lalaking player yan. Sina Tonzo Palayo, si Alvin Teng, si Iyo Sunod, si Borromeo, itong si Halmasco, yan, puro mga binahay ko yan. Later on, sina Umulon, si Batog,
Leo Batog.
Leo Batog. Puro binahay ko sa Pasig, sa bahay ko, sa apartment ko sa Pasig. So kaya natatawa yung misis ko. Ako nagbabahay lalaki, hindi lang babae.
Okay yun. Okay sa kanya yun. Pasabot sa kanya yun. Pero so, Buddy, I want to ask lang, yung kanina tinanong ko, what's the thought process in trading away star players? You explain yung attitude, yung fitting into the system. How about coaches? In your 17, 18 years of Santa Lucia, 1993 to 2010, you had about 7 coaches from Nat Canson all the way to Boyet Fernandez. Papa, how do you tell Norman Black, your time is up? How do you tell a guy like Chot Reyes, one year ka lang? Ay, paano yun?
Well, this is the most difficult part of the profession, of my position. When you have to part ways, not only with coaches, but even with players. More so when you have to trade. For the record, meron akong team raid ng mga players or let go of some coaches not because of my own personal belief, situation, but again, you work for a company. You are guided by so many things. One is finances. Number two, their own aspirations or how they assess your team, your coaches, your players. So marami yan eh. It's not just like na ako lang. While I can make decision, alam mo, yun ang pinagmamalaki ko. I make decision without consulting management. Why? One of the things that I made sure, when they got me is, if you will take me because you want your system to be imposed or to be implemented, kayo na lang. Huwag niyo akong gamitin because I don't know your system. I don't know your style. I would like to believe that you are getting me simply because you believe in what I have done and what I am capable of. So, on that note, just tell me exactly what you want and I will deliver it to you. Pero huwag niyo akong pakikialaman. If you want, if you don't like what I am doing, then you're ready. You have the authority to fire me. No? Kasi yun naman nun talaga, remember that when you work for a company, there are two rules that you have to understand. Number one, the boss is always right. Okay. Never question that. The boss is always right. Number two, rule number two, if the boss is wrong, repair to rule number one.
Rule number one. Yes.
So ang ibig ko sabihin, okay, you are beholden to your boss. Kaya lang, you have to make your independent judgment. All of us, regardless, in our own separate ways, we make or unmake ourselves through decision making. At the end of the day, when your time is up, ano bang mga magagandang desisyon ang ginawa ko? Ano ba yung masasamang desisyon ginawa ko sa buhay ko? Now, kinakailangan, the balance, no? Kinakailangan mas maraming magandang desisyon kaysa sa masamang desisyon. Di ba? Ganun yan because we are human beings. We are prone to error. Kaya lang, kung puro error at wala namang positive, masama yun. Don't be surprised to find out where you are right now. Your position right now will tell you exactly what you've been up to. Kasi mali yung mga desisyon natin. Mas marami yung mali kaysa sa tama. So, ganun din sa akin. I told them, if you will be making the decision and I will be making the implementation, you can save money by doing it on your own. And you don't need me. But if you want to realize your dreams through me, how I will do it, I will give it to you. If I fail, of course, you have the last resort. You fire me. Di ba? Ganun lang naman. Until now, I live by that principle. I always, when I make a decision, I am always putting my head on the chopping board. Pag hindi nagustuhan ng principal mo, edi mapapire out ka. Kasi mali yung decision mo. Not to his liking. That's the reason why. Very important is before you even assume the position, that you get to know your boss. You get to know your principal. If you don't know how he thinks, how can you make a good decision that will make him happy?
Correct.
Hindi mo kilala yung boss mo, desisyon ka ng desisyon, di puro problema ka. Iyan naman ang natutunan ko. I mean, that's my principle in life. You want to get me...
Napagid ko kanina, boss. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, boss. Go ahead. Okay. Hindi, matanong ko lang, so you mentioned kanina the word time is up nung nawala ng Santa Lucia sa PBA. What was it like finally telling the PBA board na out na kami? We will now give up our franchise. Our time in the PBA is over. So what was that like, boss?
Well, it's the most crucial moment of my career. I thought mawawala na nga. But again, when after making that decision, I somehow I made a Houdini escape, or I find a new way of reinventing myself and the basketball program of the company. Again, triggered by your passion na ayaw mong mawala sa basketball, basically. So, how, yun naman sa PBA, I find it really too taxing already on a personal basis. Ang hirap mong ma-maintain yung puro career. Eh may career na nga, kilala na nga ako eh. So eventually they will be seeking for financials. At saka yung the tedious process na ang hirap mong kalaban yung maraming balay, yung mga resources, ang hirap. Para ka nakipaggera. Gagirahin natin ng China. Tayo, sisipat muna tayo maigi bago tayo bumaril. Kasi kukunti yung bala mo eh. Yun namang iba, sige na, isang pindot lang. Ang dami ng missile na dadating sa atin. Ang hirap na, the inequity and parity of competition becomes so great and so heavy na it was falling all on my shoulders. Alam ko ang problema ng coaches, but alam ko rin ng mga players, but alam ko rin ang problema ng management. How do I reconcile? That's one job of mine. Reconciling the need of the company to be exposed at a least possible cost versus yung coaches and players mo who wants to get the most out of their playing career. So ano yun eh, North and South Pole yan eh. Kaya ako ngayon na nagbabalancing up. How do I now bridge the gap between the need of the company and the need of the players? So doon lang papasok yung fatherly figure ko na makikinig sa akin that in the long run, it will be best for them. So yan ang isang pinakamahirap na posisyon. Lalo na when you have to let go. There are times that you will be better off on a greener side of the pasture rather than staying with me. So merong ganyan. But you have to be honest. The thing that I learned is no matter how hard it is, you have to make that decision. You have to make that personal meeting with that whoever. Either sa player mo, coach mo, or whoever is in the team. One,
and of course, sorry, go ahead, boss. Go ahead.
You have to be very honest and huwag ka nang magpaligoy-ligoy pa. Do not sugarcoat it. Tell it as it is. Pangit yun na alam na ng player kung binobola mo siya o ng tao. So ang akin lang dyan, how it may be the hardest thing that you have to do, but number one, you have to be honest with them. Huwag mo nang paikutin pa. Lalo lang magagalit sa iyo. But you know, the decision is, shall we say, required by the position for you to do it. Hindi ko pwedeng ipagkatiwala sa iba yun. If I can hire you, then I have to make that final decision for you to let go. I mean, for you to leave my team. I will still have to do it. Hindi ko pwedeng ikaw na lang magsabi o i-text na lang kita o bibigyan na lang kita ng love letter saying goodbye to you. I will never do that. I think I owe it to the person na umarap ako bilang tao, bilang lalaki na sabihin ko, bakit mo ako tinatanggal? If there is a reason, tell me why. For whatever reason. So, yun ang philosophy.
Okay. Well, alam naman natin, Mr. Encarnado, that you were able to reinvent yourself sa basketball with the creation of the PCBL and of course, most recently, yung field basket. Pero yun, bitin yung oras natin dito. That's another topic altogether that could take hours to talk about. So right now, we'll jump into our regular segments dito. Patapos na rin tayo sa ating show. No? We're going to head muna to Attorney Cuna. Meron siyang regular segment dito. Go ahead, Charlie.
Sir Buddy, meron tayong segment dito. It's called X's or O's. It's brought to us by Hinuluban Coffee and Adlay. I'm going to give you some choices. Sabihin nyo lang kung ano yung choice mo, sir. Kahit wala nang explanation. Mamili lang kayo. Okay, let's start. Let's start. Hinuluban, X's or O's. Number 1, Toyota or Crispa?
Crispa.
Crispa. We have a Natic. Okay.
Taga-Pasig ako, remember?
Tama. Correct.
Okay. Mon Fernandez or Sonny Jaworski?
Oh, that's great. I'll choose Fernandez.
Ton Ramon. Okay. Punta na tayo. Limpot, Marlu.
Marlu.
Limpot, Dennis.
Dennis.
Dennis. Aquino, Espino. Espino pa rin. Okay. Gerard Francisco or Paulo Mendoza?
Ba?
Paulo.
Paulo.
Number one
UP5.
overall.
Okay. Okay. Ronnie Magsanok, Jerry Esplana.
Yun ang maganda.
Jerry.
Jerry. Okay. Kelly Williams or Chris Jackson?
Jackson and who?
Kelly Williams.
Kelly or Jackson. Kelly.
Kelly. Okay. Bitoy Omolon or Max Delantes?
Bitoy.
Bitoy. Okay. Derek Pumaren or Chot Reyes?
Chot Reyes.
Chot. Okay. Boyet Fernandez or Norman Black?
Boyet Fernandez.
Boyet Fernandez. Boyet Fernandez, Adonis Tierra.
Boyet Fernandez.
Boyet Fernandez. Okay, ha. Nat Canson or Al Francis Chua?
Bigat siya na.
Mabigat nga yun. Pareho mahusay.
I'll go for Al Francis.
Al Francis, okay. Kenneth Duremdes or Vergel Meneses?
Berhel Meneses and
Kenneth Duremdes.
Berhel Meneses.
Vergel, okay. Ito, Ryan Reyes or Joseph Yo?
Ryan Reyes and Joseph Yun. Ako, parehong matinding player ko yan. I'll go for Ryan Reyes.
Ryan, okay. Maglalaro pa rin. Ito, 2001 Governors Cup Championship or 2007 All-Filipino
All
Championship?
Filipino. All
Okay.
Filipino.
Always.
All Filipino yan,
Laging
oo.
All Filipino ang sagot. Ano?
Oo.
Okay, sige. Denok Miranda or Don Bel Belano?
Denok. Hands down.
Denok. Okay. Kabagnot or Kilban?
Kilban.
Kilban. Lambert Shell or Ken Redfield?
Uy.
Bigat din yan. I'll go for Lambert Shell.
Lambert Shell. Ito, mga NBA. Jojo English or Mike Magee?
English.
English. Okay. Lambert Shell na naman or Ansu Sisay?
I'll go for Ansu Sese.
Okay. Ken Redfield ulit or Damian Owens?
Owens.
No contest yun.
Okay. Ito, Chris Clay or Rob
Uy.
Parker?
Uy.
Chris Clay and
Rob
Parker.
Si Rob Parker. Parker ka, okay ha? Okay ha. Tapos yung last ito, sir, pinaka-importante ito sa lahat. Aaron, show the picture. You have to show that photo already for the last choice. Yan. Nora or Vilma?
Patay tayo dyan. Pati ba naman yan?
Ha? Okay,
Nora at
Noel
saka
yan,
si
sir.
Nel.
Nora,
Vilma
Vilma.
na lang. Kay Vilma na lang.
Vilma will win again. Okay, Vilma for Sir Buddy. Maraming salamat. That's XSROs for episode 111 brought to us by Inulaban Coffee and Adlay. Maraming salamat. Okay, Noel Zarate.
Ito, boss, na pag-usapan na natin to many times even before pumunta tayo sa Subic. Pero ulitin ko na lang. Ano ba magiging legacy ng isang Buddy Encarnado sa larangan ng Philippine basketball?
I want to ensure that the homegrowns are given the kind of respect and recognition that they deserve. Let them feel great in their own home court. Don't make them a minority in our own backyard. Otherwise, we have no right to be in basketball. Yun lang ang position ko.
Connected to that, boss, how does Buddy Encarnado want to be remembered naman in basketball?
Passionate with basketball. The man who loved basketball.
Amen. Amen. Sid, go ahead.
Sid, go.
Sir, my question naman is, in your whole time as a team manager, who were the 5 favorite players that you managed? Your 5 favorite players?
Of all time.
Of all time. Number 1 will be Dennis Espino.
Okay.
Number 1 is Dennis Espino. This guy is a leader. For you to become a marquee player, you have to be a leader. And, this guy, Dennis, he seldom speaks. But the moment he speaks, everybody listens. Man of few words yan. But when he acts, everybody follows. Yun ang magic ni Dennis. That guy, I would have not gotten my championship, lalo na yung sa PBA kung wala si Dennis. Everybody listens to Dennis. He's a great guy. Of course, I also si Dondon Ampalayo. You know, Dondon Ampalayo is an epitome of a character that will propel a player to become his destined position in Philippine basketball. Principled guy. And you know, yung unique quality niya as a player was shown in the PBA. He's only about 6'3", but he made magic of the ball underneath the basket.
Magic man.
Ibang klase yung Dondon Ampalayo. Another player, tatlo pa. Of course, si Marlo. Marlo, I think, is one of the finest centers that we ever made. No? If not the greatest center. Si Marlo Aquino. And another one is
sa dami ba naman ng player, no?
Sa dami. Oo, tama.
Si Hector Calma.
Hector Calma.
Okay.
The great general. And to me, he still is the barometer for being a point general. Ang galing ng bata niya. He played for me as well during his amateur days. Apat na ba o 5 na?
Apat, isa na lang.
And probably the number 5 will be sino nga ba si Adonis Chera.
Yeah. Let's go.
Adonis Chera. You know, natatandaan ko nung araw binata pa yan sa akin yan. But he, likewise, the character of the guy, yung patience niya, transitioning from the team captain to become a assistant coach, to become the head coach, and you know, yung maturity ng mama is something different. So these are the 5 guys that will always be endeared in my heart sa basketball.
Grabe. Ang haba talaga ng journey ng isang Buddy Encarnado from 1983 to present, yung biyahe ni Buddy Encarnado sa larangan ng basketball. Pero I'm sure, boss, sa dinami-daming experiences mo sa sport of basketball, marami ka rin gustong pasalamatan. Ito na inyong pagkakataon. Pasalamatan lahat ng tumulong sa inyong basketball journey.
Well, of course, I have to thank my wife, number 1, kasi finally she saw the light of my passion. Nakita niya na my decision to be in basketball more than in my profession. It was the key to the turning point in our partnership. Of course, number 2 is Mr. Exi Robles, no less than Mr. Exi Robles, for trusting me to this very moment, for allowing me to making all the decision na miski hindi ako may-ari, as if I am the owner of the company, making faithful decisions, making decisions left and right that shows that, you know, the trust and worthiness of me in the position is always there. So I owe him everything. Without his help, there will probably be no Buddy Encarnado in the PBA or in Philippine basketball. Another guy that I'd like to thank is Coach Nat Canson. Coach Nat Canson was my mentor in my early years. He showed his class as a coach, and I learned so much from him. He made my early years in basketball firm. The foundation of me being a basketball manager is partly made by Coach Nat Canson, and I've learned so much from him. And another guy that I'd like to wish is to thank is a good friend of mine, uh, who has passed away, Mr. Dante Gonzales. Ano yan kasabay ko nung araw yan, always telling me na go for it. Yan ang gusto mo, i-passion mo yan. So continue with what you believe. So these are the 5 guys that I'd like to mention in this interview.
Maraming salamat, boss. At that's, I'm sure lahat ng players mo, kung pwede lang silang magpasalamat din sa'yo, all the way from 1983 to present, your team right now, nanalo yung team nyo, nandiyan kayo sa MOA, hindi na kayo nakapanood.
Ilan lang naman. We won by 25 points. Kaya nga, mamaya papanoorin ko sa YouTube. Hindi ko napanood Talagang sabi ko sa kanila, if we win this, we will now be in the quarterfinals. But anyway, may YouTube naman yun, mapapanood ko. We won by 25 points.
Okay, again, maraming salamat, Boss Buddy Encarnado, for your contributions to basketball. Hindi lang po sa inyong mga players, pati na rin sa amin as fans growing up, watching Santa Lucia. You were synonymous to Santa Lucia and now synonymous as a whole to Philippine basketball. Maraming po salamat sa inyong pag-unlock ng aming imbitasyon dito sa ating An Eternity of Basketball.
Thank you, and anytime, Charlie.
So yan
Thank
po,
you,
ako po si Noel, si Sid, saka si Charlie. So, Boss Buddy, maraming salamat. At tapos na po yung interview natin with Boss Buddy.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Naghihintay yung mga coaches ko
Sige, sir. Thank you.
Salamat. Dalawang oras. Regards sa
Maraming salamat, Sir Buddy.
Okay, Coach Bog de la Cruz.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so Boss Buddy Encarnado po yan, ladies and gentlemen, joining us for episode number 111 of An Eternity of Basketball. But since this is our year-end special na rin, masasabi natin, this is our final episode for 2021, guys. More than almost 2 years na natin to ginagawa. We'd like to bring in our, masasabi natin, our historian and the fourth wheel. The fourth Beatle. Basa ka na natin ngayon.
The fourth BG. Kasi
Apat
naman talaga yung BG
pala. Sorry.
Si Andy Gibb.
Is Jay on already at this point?
Yeah.
There you go.
Si Jay.
Yes, Jay
Nakamute si Jay.
Oy, Jay, nakamute ka. Nakamute si Jay.
Basta ako si Andy Gibb,
Universidad ng Pilipinas.
Yan.
On the shirt. So let's recap this year, guys. Jay, you've probably been on the show more than I have this year. Take us back, Jay, to the AEOB experience for you.
The first time I actually guested, it came in as a guest co-host was yung kay B-Boy Ravanes episode. I think that was last year pa. But I think one of the more memorable.
Yeah. Nabagyo ako nun Nabagyo
yeah, tama.
Correct.
Relieving
Buhat ng ref si Sid nun.
Pero ang memorable sa akin this year was this Nikki Cosateng episode, I guess. It's one of the more, kasi I think that was the first episode that I came in for this year. And the Nikki Cosateng episode was not just special, but because we learned a lot from her, both politics and sports and how she handled her players being the first lady team manager in the PBA. So malaking bagay talaga yan.
Sakto na yan, Jay, kasi batiin na natin birthday ni Ma'am Nikki Cosateng sa araw na. So happy birthday, Senator Nikki. And thank you once again for coming on to our show for episode 74. So birthday ni Ma'am Nikki ngayon. Beautiful picture of her on our FB page. Check it out.
Very beautiful. Yeah.
Right. So again, what are your messages or final thoughts before we end the year? Umpisa natin kay Charlie. You've been the lead host for like 80% of the show, and I was thinking that today was a very special day because Charlie asked his first question 40 minutes into the show. That has never happened before.
That had a lot to do with Mr. Buddy Encarnado really telling us his life story, but
question number 1, 40 minutes in, ibang klase.
Di ba? Parang Pito Harenzo lang, di ba? Ganun yung
Tama.
Pero what a year it's been, I really like to thank all of our followers, Salamat sa inyo. Our family has grown. We have almost like 7,005 na almost on our page and learn it, guys. We appreciate all the followers who at one question we just ask, we don't know who's in the photo, within seconds they're answering already. And they're telling us, they're helping us out with certain facts and figures about our guests and about other people that are mentioned on the show. That's the greatest thing. So many great episodes. All the imports who joined us this year, Donnie Ray Coons, Michael Young, Michael Hackett, Harold Keeling, all these guys, great shows. And all of our usapans, usapan smoking
Yes.
joke, usapan jawo, usapang referee, usapan sports writer.
Yes.
Those were all great episodes. And then there are those who came from, yung out of the blue na not so popular maybe in the minds of some of the fans. But, there's, as we always say, there's stars in their own right. Guys like Alan Abelgas, guys like Cesar Ihares, they come on the show. Jack Hakutin comes in and makes us laugh, and telling us all about all the fights and everything. Just so many. So there's no favorite episode. There's no, everything. Every week is a new experience for us with all these stories. Abby King coming back, of course, for his 64th birthday. So ang galing ng journey, guys. And but more than that, our followers, our guests, thank you. Pero salamat rin sa inyong tatlo. Coming on this journey together with me, we're all together. Ang sarap ng kwentuhan natin. Even after the show, prior to the show, the four of us are always exchanging ideas, exchanging photos of our guests. And so that's and I really appreciate that. It's makes this Christmas season, parang something more to celebrate dahil sa AEOB, pagsasama natin dito. Aaron, of course, and the Globally Ballin guys. Maraming
Aaron's in the background.
Sa inyo lahat. So that's for me. What a great year. Thanks to all the AEOB followers. Salamat sa inyo lahat.
Sid, ikaw?
Well, it's been quite a year talaga for everyone. No, there were challenges for all of us, but we somehow we soldiered on, and we're gonna leave 2021 with so many good memories sa mga shows, And one of those, my favorite was really for me, yung Usapang Smoking Joe.
Yeah.
With Sir Quinito, Sir Seb, and Sir Andy Howe, and
Willie.
Willie Marshall.
Yes, and Willie Marshall. Yun, just to talk to these people and just get a sense of the history of the coverage of the PBA. When Vintage took over in 1982, and all those stories about Joe Cantada, that really resonated with me because I grew up with watching these guys on TV. And then after that, maybe Kid Dick Ildefonso, because he was the original voice of the PBA, and original fan ako, 70s and 80s, and just to be transported back to that time was really very special for me. So for me, yung dalawang favorite ko. And I would be remiss not to thank Aaron for all the work he's done for the show. We've actually grown this year on YouTube. We've always had a Facebook presence, but this year it really took off on YouTube. And I go back, I go and read some of the comments sometimes. Very very common yung comment na this is an underrated channel. Lagi ako nakakabasa ng ganun. And we'd like to thank the fans. For that, for your support throughout this year, and 2022. I hope we can continue doing this and booking more guests. Marami pang nakapila dyan. So just keep on staying tuned. And I'd like to thank you three guys as well for
maraming salamat.
For all the work you've done. Lalo na si Jay, pinch hitter siya.
Right.
Yeah, yes, Noel, what you think?
No, ako naman, I just like to personally thank Jay for always jumping in. I mean, you're not on the mug, you're not on the t-shirt. Pero patubo ko na lang ng bigote, pwede mo na siguro palitan dyan. But it's been a very wild year. Sa akin naman, my favorite episode was actually the anniversary episode. Yun tayo yung naging
100.
guest.
No.
Tayo yung naging guest. Tapos si Seb at si Jay, ginulpi tayo.
Kasi si Bogs yun eh.
Si Seb at si Jay, ginulpi tayo nung anniversary episode. One personal favorite also was the Usapang Referees. Because I felt that the referees were always one of the most underrated people. There cannot be any basketball without the referees. And yung insights ng ating senior referees and yung suporta ng mga present referees ng PBA, they all watched that episode talaga. It was touching for them, touching for the guys who were blowing the whistle. Tawagan ni Charlie the Zebras, diba? Running around doing all of these calls. Sila Pai Ledesma. These are legends already, all of these years. Pero yun nga, that's all of my favorite episodes. And also naman, I also like to thank everybody for putting up with my bad internet. As you know, this was a bubble year for me. Diba? I was in 4 bubbles this year, all the way from FIBA Asia, nakatira pa ako, FIBA Asia qualifiers, from Clark, nakagawa pa episode. Of course, yung 5 5 weeks ko sa Ilocos, na ibang episodes na miss ko because of really bad internet, all the way to Bacolor, which had the worst internet of all, and of course yung sa Subic. So everybody pitched in to make this show popular. But again, I'd like to echo the sentiments of the three of you. The fans really made this show what it is today. I want to mention all of you, all of the Tony Valenzuelas, all of the Danny Manalastas, the guys who keep on giving all of this information. Keep on supporting us, and talagang yung masasabi natin, kung masasabing die-hard fans, or what I think one of the fans called us the Eternals. Yun yata yung sa mga fans natin, the Eternals.
Noel, mamaya.
Noel, may also acknowledge the fans na yung ating former guests who actually brought in their own guests na rin. In other words, they were the ones who invite our future guests na, no? Maraming ganun, no? From Ben Obrique to kasi si Ramon Dizon nakapasok yan because of Ben. Ganyan, ang daming ganun na, and in our future episodes, maraming ganun na naman mangyayari. We might be bringing in a lot of star players already because yung referrals na lang ng mga dati nating guests.
Right.
Anyway, it's a movement. So, join the movement, everybody, and so you can all come on the show and join us. Sana lahat ng mga obscure, yung mga nagtatago, yung mga nahihiya, mga former players, sana they start coming out of the woodwork in 2022 and they join us here on the show for an hour or two of kwentuhan. Yun lang naman.
Right, because at the end of the day, it's your story, guys. Yung mga, it's always about you. Pansin mo, it's never about us, except of course when the mug came out and when the T-shirt came out.
Anniversary episodes.
And during the anniversary episode.
And during the anniversary episode. Pero again, it's been, I just like to say also anniversary ko pala today, guys. So wedding anniversary. I've been married 22 years
mabuhay kayo.
Mabuhay kayo. 22 years, everything's working out already dito. We've transferred to a new house. Thank you.
Belated happy birthday din kay Noel. Kasi I'll always remember your birthday kasi wedding anniversary ko naman yun.
Ayun.
We haven't thanked Claudia also.
Si Claudia.
Yun ang sabihin ko. I was gonna thank Claudia Perrine who pinch hits for Aero naman. And of course, si Aris Garcia, PBA Archive, for the photos that he provides us. And some info as well, yung mga clippings natin. Maraming salamat. So there's a lot of help from so many different people. And as time has gone on, some of the followers send us messages, direct messages on our AEOB page, suggesting who we should guest, suggesting how, what we should do for future episodes. We appreciate all of that. We try our best to accommodate you. We can't always do it. Simply, first of all, we can't find some of these former players, but we will try our best talaga to bring you a great show every week. So, we have to tell them, wala tayong shows for the next couple of weeks. So we're gonna take a Christmas vacation din kami dito sa AEOB. Pero come January, meron mga naka-line up na. Mga first few weeks meron na tayo. I-announce namin yan sa FB page, Noel. Once it's all confirmed, we will put it there.
That's the magic word dito, confirmed. So again, I actually, among the two, I will see Jay Mercado in a few hours. Okay?
Yes.
That's for sure. I will see Jay Mercado. I saw Sid Ventura briefly at one point this year nung nagdala ako ng sardina sa bahay niya. I have not seen Charlie Cuna since 2020. I think 2019 pa yata tayo huling nagkita.
It's okay. You always consult me naman, so it's all right.
So, I'll ask Turo Valenzuela to consult you again. Pero again, this has been a magical ride, guys. And alam naman natin, episode 111, madadagdagan pa. And all of you fans, thank you for joining us dito. Globally Ballin always supporting us. And for all of our former guests, thank you for allowing us to tell your stories. At the end of the day, this is about you. And of course, we'd also like to send a prayer sa lahat ng mga nasa lanta ng recent typhoon na tumama dyan sa Visayas region, Northern Mindanao. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of you. We're going to see what we can do to help you, but as of now, our prayers ang papadala namin sa inyo ngayon for the Christmas season, and hopefully everybody stays safe, especially with this new COVID variant going around, si Omicron, na malalapasan din natin yan. But sports is coming back, and AEOB was able to bridge the gap from the pandemic to now that basketball has finally restarted again, and we hope to do that for you again in 2022. So final messages, guys, before we call this a year. Jay?
Merry Christmas to everybody. We like to see. We hope to see you again next year.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie.
Okay, maligayang Pasko sa inyong lahat, and hopefully a more prosperous New Year. And it's one that we can get to see each other finally Di ba? Sana tayo rin, we can meet our guests in person.
Yeah,
Di ba?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mga
Steve
idol
Watson,
natin,
nagyaya
mga
yata
yan.
si Steve Watson, ha?
Kasi mga fans tayo first and foremost. So maraming salamat sa lahat ng followers. Have a peaceful Christmas celebration, everybody. And then yun na nga, join us on January 8 for our first episode 2022.
Yes.
Sid.
Yeah. Same here. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Stay safe sa inyong lahat, and thank you for the support for the almost 2 years that we've been on the air. And on a personal
Grabe,
note, I'll be watching the PBA games later live as a spectator
Nice.
for the first time in a long time. Siguro 2018 pa ako
Enjoy.
nanonood ng live. So if anyone's there, just
Just make sure you're
highly
wearing the
sila.
shirt para ma-identify ka kaagad. Actually, final message ko sa inyo lahat. Thank you guys for all of your support. Hindi po magiging gantong kalaki ang eternity of basketball. This was just a pandemic idea. Nakala, a lot of people
Wala
started
kaming magawa,
pandemic ideas within months, tapos na. Magto 2 years na po itong an eternity of basketball, and we cannot stop because you do not stop supporting us. And we will continue to tell the stories of all of your hardcourt heroes as best as we can, when we can, and of course on January 8, we will continue our mission. Ako po si Noel Zarate. On behalf of Charlie Cuna, Sid Ventura, and of course Jay Mercado, it is Merry Christmas and Happy New
Merry
Year
Christmas.
from an eternity of basketball. Paalam guys.
Merry Christmas.
Mabuhay.
Stay safe.